Chapter 1406. Su Yen and the rest did not stop at the Bai family and went on their way. The followers of the Bamboo Origin Force used the spacetime battleship to jump through spacetime node. It took them 3 days to cross 5 continents and arrive at the Green Mountain continent. It was a long journey. It would take at least a year to cross 5 continents if one were to rely on transmigration alone. The Bamboo Origin Power Battleship, on the other hand, could jump through time and space. It was an extremely valuable item, but most people couldn't afford to use it because it required large amounts of immortal matter to maintain it. However, the Sky Bamboo lineage was huge, and such a loss was nothing to them. To Bai Yunxi, the Green Mountain continent was a rich continent. It was one of the most important continents controlled by the Sky Bamboo lineage. It was a holy land for her cultivation. Rumble. Soon, the battleship stopped. It was filled with ancient spacetime currents. The huge cabin door opened, and Su Yen and the rest walked out. He looked into the distance. Mountains and rivers stretched out one after another, and they were filled with immortal radiance. It was a magnificent sight. At a glance, he could see millions of mountains. Between the mountains, there was an abundance of immortal substance that rolled like a tide. As Su Yen breathed, his flesh and blood glowed. It was as if he had been nourished and baptized. It made him feel comfortable and energetic. The Green Mountain continent was filled with famous mountains and rivers. There were many factions entrenched in it, and there were also many blessed lands. Many of the famous mountains were filled with immortal energy, and there were experts with shocking auras cultivating there. The Sky Bamboo lineage's battleship. The arrival of Su Yen and the rest woke some people up. They used their divine senses to observe for a while, and then retracted their gazes. This kind of cultivation ground is filled with immortal substance. It's almost forbidden for outsiders. Bai Yunxi said softly, "If we didn't ride the Sky Bamboo lineage's battleship, we would have been chased away by them. If we met some bad-tempered ones, our lives would be in danger." Su Yen was speechless. The immortal heavenly domain's management of resources was too strict. As time passed, people could not help but have the mentality that if they wanted to stand out, they had to join an immortal sect. Otherwise, they would only be able to hang around in a small place for the rest of their lives. This was a cruel problem. After all, immortals did not have immortal substance to strengthen themselves. Their cultivation was so slow that it would cause them to go mad. "Sirs," 2 of Zhu Yuanli's subordinates walked up and said with a smile, "We're heading to Green Mountain City right now. This is the most prosperous ancient city in the Green Mountain continent." Buzz. One of the attendants took out a war chariot. It was completely green, and the banner of the Sky Bamboo branch fluttered loudly in the wind. This was the exclusive war chariot of the Sky Bamboo clan. It was extremely fast. In the vast and mysterious world of the undying heavenly domain, it would be difficult to travel without a powerful flying treasure. The war chariot enlarged, and the wheels began to rotate. With a rumble, it sped away. Along the way, Su Yen enjoyed the beautiful scenery. This place had verdant hills and limpid waters, birdsong and fragrant flowers. Mountains and rivers connected one after another, and some of the terrains were no small matter. They could even nurture natural treasures. The Green Mountain continent was very large. The rich continent was more than 10 times larger than the White Phoenix continent. One could only imagine how terrifying this number was. With Su Yan's speed, it would take him more than half a year to traverse the entire Qingshan continent. Su Yan. All of a sudden, a weak will flashed and exploded in Su Yan's mind. "Remember this place." He clenched his fists tightly as his pupils scanned the surroundings. It was as if the boundless scene had been stripped away from him. Layers and layers of images flowed into Su Yan's sea of consciousness. There were no factions here, and it was considered a rare black plain in the Green Mountain continent. The undying substance was also relatively thin. Could there be something special about this place? I can sense the presence of the primogenitor. After a long time, the weak will of the giant bamboo reverberated in Su Yan's sea of consciousness again. This made Su Yan ecstatic. Could the place where the primogenitor fell be the Green Mountain continent? Quickly, find some good herbs to help me recover some of my consciousness. After saying this, the giant bamboo fell into dead silence. All these years, he had been holding on to his last breath. Su Yan also fell into silence. After 2 days and 2 nights, a majestic ancient city appeared at the end of the horizon. Green Mountain City. Bai Yunxi's heart trembled. This ancient city was majestic and boundless. The ancient city was like the majestic lion of the Green Mountain continent standing between heaven and earth, surging with abnormally terrifying and ancient energy waves. Su Yan's gaze stared unblinkingly at Qingshan City. This city was indeed very majestic. The sun, moon, and stars filled the sky as they lined up in the sky above the city. The moonlight scattered down from the stars, strengthening the natural essence of the city. The war chariot drove unimpeded toward Green Mountain City. The patrolling guards at the city gate did not dare to stop them and let the war chariot enter Green Mountain City. The war chariot quickly stopped and arrived at the city lord's mansion. 2 attendants got off and said, "Sirs, the teleportation formation from the Green Mountain City Lord's mansion to our ancestral land will only open half a month later. We must use the teleportation formation to cross continent. If we rely on the warship, it will take a long time. You can stay in the City Lord's mansion for a few days." "Half a month, okay, we understand." Su Yan nodded. He wanted to ask about Zhu Yao's whereabouts, but he held back as he did not want to arouse their suspicions. Although Su Yan wanted to kill Zhu Yao, it was more important to enter the heavenly bamboo lineage. "Su Yan, why don't we go out for a walk and broaden our horizons?" Bai Yunxi asked with a smile. "Since we are already here, we must take a look." Su Yan nodded and they walked out together. Su Yan's heart was heavy. It seemed like Zhu Yao was not in Green Mountain City. Could she have left the Green Mountain continent? "Calm down, especially at times like this, we must not be anxious. We must not lose our composure." Su Yan tried his best to calm down. Although the killing intent in his heart was boiling, he had no one to rely on in the immortal heavenly domain. He had to be careful. This was the most prosperous ancient city in the rich continent. People came and went on the street. There were many strange creatures and powerful ancient beasts. It was bustling with noise and excitement. Su Yan went to some shops. There was a dazzling lineup of treasures. It could be said that there was everything one could think of. There were even true immortal treasures for sale. However, the price was too outrageous. It easily required tens of thousands of immortal treasures. Even Bai Yunxi could not afford such things, although she was the most outstanding disciple of the Bai clan. However, her wealth was limited. "Are there any secret medicines that can nourish the soul?" Su Yan also asked around in some shop. He wanted the giant bamboo to recover as soon as possible. He only had half a month in the Green Mountain continent. Calculating the distance, it was enough for him to go to the place where the heavenly bamboo progenitor fell. "Of course, what kind of medicine does Mr. need?" A little maid warmly welcomed Su Yan and took out many secret medicines. Su Yan naturally did not care about the ordinary ones. Moreover, they were of no help to the giant bamboo. What he needed was an 8th-tier golden core secret medicine. However, these things were too expensive. Su Yan was speechless. There was a medicine that could heal injuries, but it was expensive. It required tens of thousands of immortal treasures. "Isn't this too expensive?" Su Yan was dumbfounded. He only had 500 immortal treasures on him. "This kind of medicine is very expensive." Bai Yunxi could not help but say, "After all, it is a secret medicine that nourishes the soul. It is many times more expensive than other golden cores. I really underestimated it." Su Yan shook his head and smiled bitterly. He was really poor now. A few hundred immortal treasures were a fortune in the White Phoenix continent. However, in the Green Mountain continent, it was only a drizzle. It was not worth mentioning. Actually, for the experts of the immortal sex, breaking through is not a problem. They do not have to be so calculative like us. By Yunshi sighed. However, there are always some miraculous medicines in the world that can improve one's potential. It is even said that there are secret medicines that can strengthen one's life essence. These things are even more valuable. They cannot be measured with money. They are priceless. However, Bai Yunshi whispered, with your potential, you will definitely be able to obtain some rare resources from the Heavenly Bamboo sect. If you are really in need of such treasures, you can use the resources to exchange for them. There is no need to rush. Su Yen nodded slightly. If he wanted to get rich, he had to rob a true immortal. He missed the adventure in the secret realms in the Xianhuang universe. However, he did not know much about the immortal heavenly domain. Thus, he could only take it one step at a time. Su Yen wandered aimlessly in the limestone city. Along the way, he heard many things that were related to the monarch rankings. However, there were only a few peerless geniuses who could shake the entire immortal heavenly domain. It was already impressive for them to be famous in more than a dozen continents. As for spreading their name across the entire immortal heavenly domain, only the successors of the most powerful orthodoxies could do so. The universe is too big. It is too difficult to find traces of Yi Yuan and the others. Su Yen took a deep breath. Although the Qingshan continent was a rich continent, it was only the tip of the iceberg in the vast immortal heavenly domain. Finding someone in the immortal heavenly domain was like finding a needle in a haystack. Bai Yunshi's understanding of the Emperor Road was also limited. It seemed like he had to go to the Heavenly Bamboo sect if he wanted to find out more about the Emperor Road's final battlefield. At night, the Qingshan city was brightly lit. Su Yen and Bai Yunshi were on their way back to the city lord residence. Boom! Suddenly, there was a series of loud explosions. The entire street was in chaos as the passers-by quickly retreated. Oh my God, 9 immortal ancient beasts pulling a carriage. What a grand scene! The passers-by were shocked to see 9 powerful ancient beasts pulling a carriage with dragon carvings across the void. The wheels of the carriage made loud noises as it rolled over the ground. This is too ostentatious. Who is it? Someone was so angry that the carriage dashed forward without any restraint. No one knew who it was. Do you want to die? Can't you see that it's a carriage from the Heavenly Bamboo sect? The people inside are either rich or noble. Someone scolded his companion. His expression changed. The Qingshan city was the property of the Heavenly Bamboo sect. Who would dare to criticize the sect's experts? The passers-by on the entire street retreated. Bai Yunshi also retreated far away, not wanting to get into trouble. Su Yen was also watching from afar. He stared at the carriage that passed by. The carriage itself was extremely powerful. It was an immortal artifact. The entire carriage was covered in dazzling immortal inscriptions, and its defensive power was amazing. When the curtains on the carriage were gently lifted, a beautiful yet slightly domineering face appeared before everyone's eyes. Moreover, her eyes were filled with majesty, making people not dare to look directly at her. It's her. The entire street was in chaos. Everyone knew the most outstanding pearl of the Heavenly Bamboo sect, Zhu Yao. She was the strongest female sky pride of the Heavenly Bamboo sect. She had many suitors. She was a true sky pride. She could be considered a noble lady in all the major immortal sects in the immortal heavenly domain. Xia Kunlun, what are you doing? Bai Yunshi's expression changed when he saw Su Yen walking forward. In the process, Bai Yunshi's expression changed. His appearance was slightly different from before. His white robes had turned black, and he looked completely different. What was going on? Roar! The 9 ancient beasts roared. Their vitality was unparalleled. They roared angrily at Su Yen, who was walking toward the carriage. Su Yan's aura was completely different. His long black hair danced in the wind, and his powerful aura was released. It was filled with cold, killing intent. When Zhu Yao's gaze landed on Su Yan, her expression changed slightly. This person's aura was familiar, but she could not remember where she had seen it before. Who are you? Zhu Yao frowned. She felt threatened, but this feeling was ridiculous. What kind of place was this? Who dared to behave atrociously here? Su Yan strode forward and punched out. A terrifying aura filled the air, and the sky was torn apart. The 9 ancient beasts roared and released their strongest battle strength. However, they could not stop the bloody hurricane. They exploded, and their flesh exploded. Blood stained the void. Su Yan did not say a word. However, he was exploding. It was getting more and more terrifying. Eventually, his pores spewed out a monstrous aura that drowned the sky and earth. It pierced through the clouds and shook the entire Green Mountain city. Boom! The entire city shook violently as if it was about to collapse. Even the entire sky was shaking. That person soared through the sky like the return of the Emperor. The entire space was under his feet. His hair danced in the wind, and his golden aura suppressed the entire world. Crazy! Everyone trembled. Their scalps were about to explode. This ruthless person attacked Zhu Yao directly in Green Mountain City. Chapter 1407. Su Yan attacked powerfully without any hesitation. He was too decisive. His heart had been suppressing the flames of hatred for so many years. But at this moment, Su Yan couldn't hold back any longer. Even if he had to pay some price, Su Yan didn't care. I can't bear it anymore. Why should I? Su Yan's hair danced in the wind as he pressed forward step by step. His heroic bearing became increasingly imposing as he tore through the shackles of the human body. In the end, his aura surged, terrifying beyond compare. An unparalleled pressure was released, covering the entire ancient city. Killing intent overflowed into the heavens, so cold that it caused all life in the universe to shiver. The 9 ancient beasts pulling the carriage were blasted apart by Su Yan's fist. Blood dyed the heavens. This bloody scene caused countless creatures to panic. Madman, what kind of ruthless person is this? A young demon king. What are his origins? They were terrified as they looked at this black-clothed youth with trembling eyes. He was powerful to an inconceivable degree. He was like an overlord soaring through the skies, overlooking all life in the universe. Su Yan's aura was too cold, as if he had drunk the blood of millions upon millions of lives. Great misfortune. He is definitely a great misfortune. Some people trembled, unable to withstand the young demon king's killing intent. Their bodies were stung with pain, as if they were about to be torn apart. Who is this person that dares to attack Zhu Yao here? This shocking scene was too sudden. It erupted just like that. A young demon king had awakened in a heaven-defying manner, releasing a terrifying killing intent as he attacked in a domineering manner. Bai Yunxi was stunned. He fell weakly to the ground as he stared at Su Yan with fear and trepidation. It was as if he had encountered a great change in his life. His heart was filled with disbelief. Was this still Xia Kunlun? He was 10 times more terrifying than before. He was like a young true immortal who could suppress the universe with a raise of his hand. Who was he? Could he be a heaven-defying descendant nurtured by a peak orthodoxy? But why did he attack Zhu Yao? This was the Sky Bamboo lineage's territory. Once a great figure from the Sky Bamboo lineage came out, who could contend against them. But Su Yan still erupted. The gods and devils in this region howled as the entire world darkened. The weather changed. It was extremely frightening. In this pitch-black world, there was only that person who was heroic and tyrannical, callous and peerless. It was as if all life was trembling beneath his feet. Bastard, who are you? Zhu Yao's expression changed in anger. She clenched her fists tightly and her eyes spat fire. This was a great humiliation. Someone was trying to kill her in Qingshan City. Although this wasn't strange, it was the first time in his life that the other party had made a move in Qingshan City, the territory of the Sky Bamboo Branch. "The person who will kill you!" Su Yen angrily roared. His essence, energy, and spirit once again went berserk. He was like a comet tearing through the sky to strike Zhu Yao. In an instant, the scene changed. It was as if the heavens and earth were falling apart, and a huge explosion occurred in the void. Energy fluctuations surged out, bombarding the entire Green Mountain City, causing it to shake violently. In this shattered spacetime, nothing could be seen. The only thing that could be seen was a fist exploding out and destroying the entire carriage. The broken pieces of the chariot filled the sky, dancing between heaven and earth, cutting through the void. Zhu Yao staggered back and was sent flying. Her eyes were filled with rage as she waved her hands like lightning to block the fists that continued to bombard her. Bang! The two collided, and the sound of thunder exploded in the void. It was deafening. Zhu Yao's face was ashen. She barely managed to block Su Yan's tyrannical fist. She glared at Su Yan and said, "I don't care who you are or what power you come from. I want you dead." Su Yan was cold and emotionless. His long black hair draped over his shoulders, and his pores spat out vigorous blood energy like clouds in the sky. It quickly drowned out the entire spacetime. The most powerful battle strength erupted, and a terrifying aura pierced through the heavens and shook the starry sky. Su Yan's life force was terrifying and boundless. Large black cracks appeared in the huge Green Mountain City, and it was in danger of collapsing. At the critical moment, the Great Formation ignited to protect Green Mountain City. Ah! Zhu Yao was in pain. Her arm was broken, and she screamed miserably. This was the first time in her life that she had encountered such a predicament and despair. She didn't even know who the enemy was and was about to be crushed to death by Su Yan. "Who the hell are you?" Zhu Yao's eyes were bloodshot as she circulated 120% of her strength to resist Su Yan. However, this person was too wild. His head of black hair danced in the wind like a waterfall. His moves were wide open as he pressed forward to suppress Zhu Yao. This was too wild and tyrannical. He erupted with his peak state and an invincible aura pervaded the air. "Kill!" Su Yan roared. His aura swallowed everything within 100,000 li. Boundless golden ripples sprayed out from his mouth and nose, shattering the power that was obstructing him. His roar shook the sea of stars. Even Green Mountain City, which was within the Great Revival Formation, trembled. Even the vast expanse of buildings exploded. Zhu Yao's body trembled. She was dizzy from Su Yan's roar and blood flowed out from the corner of her mouth. Zhu Yao's heart was filled with fear. Who was this person? He was like a supreme demonic lord and simply unrivaled. When that person arrived in front of her, everything became blurry. No matter how powerful Zhu Yao's aura was, she was suppressed by Zhu Yao. She was also completely suppressed by Su Yan. She appeared very weak, like a speck of dust beside Ji Zun. "Bastard!" Zhu Yao roared angrily. She erupted from her predicament and did her utmost to resist Su Yan, who was suppressing her. However, immediately afterwards, the mature cultivators were all dumbfounded. The young Devil King was too tyrannical. The moment the immortal matter within his body surged, numerous immortal true dragons pierced through the heavens and reached the peak of the universe. It formed a terrifying scene. His meridians are like heavenly dragons and his life essence is terrifying to the extreme. This is a supreme overlord. Someone roared uncontrollably. He saw immortal energy surge out from the young Devil King's body, even more turbulent than the ocean. This was an absolute suppression of life essence. It completely suppressed Zhu Yao. No matter how great this noble lady's talents and potential were, she was still suppressed to the bottom of the valley. Extreme danger assaulted her. Zhu Yao's mind trembled. She erupted with secret techniques in succession and formed defensive immortal runes in an attempt to stop Su Yan. Boom! Su Yan almost went berserk. He fiercely raised his large hand and smashed apart her defensive divine abilities. Moreover, his palm grabbed her shoulder. Just how ferocious was Su Yan? His battle stance was terrifying as he forcibly removed one of Zhu Yao's arms. Ah! Zhu Yao roared in pain. Her entire arm was torn off and she was in so much pain that she almost fainted. How terrifying! This is too savage. Is this the supreme overlord of that race? He's too tyrannical. That's Zhu Yao. She's being crushed and almost dead. Everyone trembled. Was this still an immortal? His aura was as vigorous as a young true immortal's, and his life essence was also quite ridiculous. It's Miss Zhu Yao. At this time, a large number of experts came from a distant world. They were all furious and their eyes were about to split open as they roared. Who are you? How dare you? Those who block me will die. Su Yan let out a furious roar that caused several immortal cultivators to tremble. Soon, their bodies exploded into bloody light. He was like a demon lord returning from hell, bathed in blood and berserk. Stop him! Several half-step true immortals were terrified. They also erupted with their strongest power and evolved immortal paths to stop this madman. Su Yan's body was burning. Soon, his flesh shell was golden, and his aura was much stronger. This was Su Yan's strongest state. It shocked the universe and starry sky. He was like a golden overlord overlooking the 9 heavens and 10 earths, dominating the world. That's a supreme treasure body. What kind of constitution is that? The young devil king is deliberately hiding it. Let me see if he can see through it. Everyone was stunned. He was actually able to increase his battle prowess once again. Was he still human? Could he be an overlord that was ranked in the top 30 of the monarch rankings? A supreme ferocious beast that was qualified to compete for the position of supreme on the monarch rankings. Kill. Su Yan turned into a human-shaped weapon and attacked the experts blocking his way. These people were all immortals and there were even half-step true immortals. But who could match Su Yan's state? The cultivators blocking his way were like a group of scarecrows. Many of them were bleeding from their 7 orifices and their guts were torn apart by Su Yan's roar. The half-step true immortals were in despair. His strength could blur the immortal path, causing their cultivation realm to drop. Even if it was the immortal path evolved by half-step true immortals, Su Yan could use his supreme strength to shatter it. A large number of experts screamed miserably and were sent flying. Many of them were filled with hatred. Who exactly is he? The experts who were still alive dared. What kind of vicious person did Zhu Yao provoke? He attacked without caring about the consequences, slaughtering dozens of experts. 3 half-step true immortals were killed by him. Come and accept your death. All of this happened in a short period of time. Blood rained down from the sky. That figure became larger and larger, cold and emotionless. His might shook the universe, causing all living beings to feel suffocated. Everyone was suffocating. In the end, he rushed over. He destroyed all the experts blocking his way and attacked Zhu Yao. Zhu Yao took out a peak immortal killing weapon. It was a snow-white sword core, resplendent and blazing. It could easily cut apart the great stars of the universe. The killing sword pierced through the sky, stabbing towards Su Yan's fist. Zhu Yao retreated. She felt a fatal threat and rushed towards the City Lord Manor. Bam! A loud explosion rang out, making Zhu Yao's heart tremble. Su Yan's fist imprint was matchless. With a rumble, he destroyed the sword core. What kind of tyrannical body was this? It was invincible. Even the immortal killing sword could blast it into dregs. The golden body of Su Yan pounced over. His figure crossed the heavens. He was too fast, almost ignoring the laws of time. The moment he descended from the sky, the entire world changed. It was as if a rain of blood was falling from the sky. The entire Green Mountain City was covered in blood red. This was the end of the world. The aura made people panic and tremble. What kind of great Tao is this? It affects heaven and earth. In Green Mountain City, some slumbering true immortals woke up. They found it hard to believe. What kind of great Tao was this? It affected the order of heaven and earth. It was equivalent to replacing the heavenly Tao. How could it be so tyrannical? Could it be that the inheritor of some ancient orthodoxy had come into being? Did he want to use Zhu Yao to establish his might? A world of blood enveloped the world of mortals. It was as if a domain had appeared, drowning the world of mortals and enveloping countless creatures. I can't take it anymore. What is this? Many people seemed to have gone mad. They were roaring. They felt as if they were in the midst of heavenly punishment, about to be judged. Suddenly, they saw a person appear in the world of blood. He was like the ruler of a domain, grand and ancient. He controlled the heavens and was about to bring down a matchless heavenly punishment. Who exactly are you? Zhu Yao was terrified. Goosebumps appeared all over her body. This person was simply impossible to match. Once they encountered him, they would almost certainly face death. Her scalp was about to explode. Moreover, there was nowhere to run. She directly erupted with her most powerful combat strength. She was naturally powerful, her life essence extraordinary. She displayed a series of great divine abilities to resist Su Yan. But what was the point of this? When the ruler of the world of blood descended, his palms pushed out billions of calamity symbols. Tao of robbery! A cold voice exploded, entering deep into everyone's souls. It was as if the ruler of the universe had spoken, bringing down heavenly punishment, bringing down a judgment from the heavens. Plop! Countless people knelt on the ground. They couldn't take it at all. This type of spreading calamity aura entered deep into their souls, about to suppress their souls, great Tao and flesh. It was as if nothing belonged to them. What exactly was this? Just what kind of world-shaking secret technique was this? Honglong. The aura of calamity engulfed the entire sky. It was as if a brilliant rain of blood was scattering down. Moreover, it surged with the aura of a vast universe of calamity. It pressed down just like that, capable of destroying the world. I refuse to believe I can't stop you. Zhu Yao roared. She activated more than 10 great divine abilities, fighting until the heavens were boiling. Divine force rumbled like a tsunami. Zhu Yao went mad. She activated more than 10 great divine abilities that could shock the world and make ghosts and deities weep. Moreover, she ignited her life essence to bombard the world of blood. A terrifying collision erupted. Loud noises echoed through the sky, shaking everyone's hearts. Heaven overflowing divine ability power engulfed the world of blood. However, what Zhu Yao found inconceivable was that the world of blood was like a great universe of calamity. It poured down energy that no one could match, devouring everything. This world of blood was vast and boundless. There was no end to it. Suddenly, 2 large blood-colored hands pressed down, representing the heavens. Zhu Yao's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. She activated her strongest combat power and blasted out a large number of secret treasures to block Su Yan's supreme killing technique. However, the result was chilling. All of Zhu Yao's protective power exploded. More than 10 secret treasures were destroyed. They were completely unable to block Su Yan's killing technique. Moreover, the entire street collapsed. Large cracks even began to spread towards the distant world. This also caused a small portion of the entire Qingshan city to collapse. The destructive power was too shocking. Pft! Zhu Yao, who was standing at the center, suddenly spat out a large mouthful of blood. Her entire body was cracking. Even her protective armor exploded, revealing her snow-white body that was stained with blood. It was exposed to the eyes of everyone. Countless people were stunned as they stared at Zhu Yao. The number 1 noble lady of the heavenly bamboo lineage, who was famous among the immortal sects, had her armor destroyed and became a naked woman stained with blood. Some people thought that the fierce person did it on purpose. He must have an irreconcilable grudge with Zhu Yao. Damn it! Zhu Yao roared at the sky. Her eyes widened in anger and blood flowed out. She hated to the extreme. A furious aura was born from her body. She wanted nothing more than to tear the entire celestial domain apart. Her body glowed on its own, turning into a protective armor that covered her blood-stained jade body. She hadn't lost her mind yet. She quickly fled. If she didn't leave now, she would die here. In the ruined Qingshan city, Su Yan was like an awakened fiend god in hell. He tore apart all shackles and attacked Zhu Yao with lightning speed. Su Yan waved his hand, and a war spear flew out from the ruins. Hum! Su Yan directly threw the war spear. It was like a bolt of lightning that tore through space and time. This attack was too fast and too domineering. It was like the spear of the Grim Reaper. It pierced through her shoulder and nailed her to the gate of the City Lord Manor. The war spear was still buzzing. It pierced through Zhu Yao's shoulder and nailed her to the city gate. You won't be able to escape. Your life is mine, Su Yan said coldly. His deep eyes were filled with bone-chilling killing intent. His anger had not yet subsided. I just finished writing a big chapter. Chapter 1408. The blood-stained spear pierced through the sky at an extremely fast speed. Zhu Yao, the famous noble lady of a generation, had her battle clothes torn apart. Her snow-white body was stained with blood, and she was nailed to the gate of the City Lord Mansion by a spear. This scene was frozen in everyone's eyes. It was enough to be unforgettable for the rest of their lives. Subconsciously, some people felt excited. In this world where the immortal orthodoxies ruled the world, who dared to challenge the authority of the immortal orthodoxies? But now, someone had stood out and defied the heavens. He had beaten up the number 1 girl of the Sky Bamboo Branch, Zhu Yao, and nailed her to the gate of the City Lord Mansion. After all, she was completely naked. Many people felt their blood boiling as they shouted in their hearts, "You scared me to death." Who was that? That was the famous noble lady of the undying heavenly domain, Zhu Yao. Her battle clothes were torn apart and she was nailed to the gate of the City Lord Mansion. Ah! Zhu Yao screamed in pain. She was about to go crazy and wanted to kill herself. Su Yan was humiliating her. Since she wanted to go to the City Lord Mansion, Su Yan would send her on her way. The entire City Lord Mansion was filled with cultivators of the Sky Bamboo Branch, but they were all trembling. Countless people fell to the ground and couldn't stand up at all. Su Yan was like a supreme demon lord that had descended between the heavens and the earth. The ferocious aura that rose from his body surged endlessly, suppressing all living beings in the universe, causing the huge Qing mountain city to appear dim and dull. Su Yan, can you not kill her? At this time, Bamboo Moon's voice came, waking Su Yan from his murderous thoughts. Why? Su Yan frowned. He wanted to kill Zhu Yao immediately and make her pay with her life for what she had done. This was a heaven-sent opportunity, and he didn't know when he would have to wait for the next time. After all, if Zhu Yao had been protected by an expert, Su Yan wouldn't have taken the risk. Although he had killing weapons and trump cards, Su Yan wouldn't use them unless absolutely necessary. Because Zhu Yu stood in the space-time treasure. Her white robes made her look like a fairy. She was graceful, dignified, and beautiful. At this moment, she exuded an extremely cold aura. Her eyes were filled with hatred as she enunciated each word. In the past, she bullied me because I was weak. I really want to kill her myself. Okay. Su Yan was silent for a while. It was a bloody scene. Zhu Yao fell to the ground in pain. Who are you? This young Devil King's appearance was very unfamiliar, but Zhu Yao felt that this person's aura was somewhat familiar, but she couldn't remember where she had seen it before. After all, Zhu Yao and Su Yan had never interacted before. If Zhu Yao and Zhu Qingjiao had been here, they would have been able to recognize him as Su Yan. Don't worry. I won't kill you. Su Yan looked down at her from above. He looked down at Zhu Yao and said indifferently, "I'll come back for you. Remember, your life belongs to me now and in the future. If I'm in a good mood, I'll come back and beat you up again." "You bastard!" Zhu Yao let out a hysterical roar. She was so angry that she almost fainted. This was a great humiliation, a humiliation that she had never experienced before. It was truly a fate worse than death. How could someone as proud as her endure such humiliation? At this moment, Su Yan suddenly attacked and slapped Zhu Yao's forehead. Her forehead was shattered. Su Yan's hand reached in and grabbed a time ring that was hanging in her mind. No. Zhu Yao's expression was panic. Her life savings were hidden in the time ring. If Su Yan snatched it away, she would be left with nothing. There was even a portion of evolutionary fluid hidden in the time ring. She had gone to great lengths to obtain it. If she lost it, the consequences would be unimaginable. Her clan would be punished. Boom! Just as Su Yan's hand was about to reach in and touch the time ring, Zhu Yao's forehead suddenly rippled. Waves of ancient fluctuations suddenly surged out explosively from the center of Zhu Yao's forehead. It was like a true immortal was awakening, and it was peerlessly powerful. Moreover, a shocking scene appeared in space. It was a figure that filled the entire space-time. It flowed with a terrifying spiritual aura. It said coldly, "Who dares to harm my descendant?" Scram! Su Yan roared. His clothes exploded, revealing his golden body that surged with peerless power. Bang! He waved his fist and punched forward. Every punch contained the power of Su Yan's primordial spirit. Punch after punch, he attacked the primordial spirit projection in the space-time. A total of 9 punches erupted, each stronger than the last. Su Yan's peerless combat strength surged. In the end, he destroyed the primordial spirit projection and destroyed the true immortal's primordial spirit projection. Everyone present was horrified. This was too domineering and decisive, making them tremble in fear. It was to the extent where they also caught onto a type of exceptional and unrivaled battle strength. This was a boundless great power that was almost impossible to change. What kind of person was he? What kind of bloody experience did he have to go through to forge such a terrifying spiritual will? Who dares to attack Green Mountain City? Suddenly, the sound of thunder exploded in the silent Green Mountain City. The vast space-time collapsed, opening up a deep space-time tunnel that stretched very far. One could see clearly that at the end of the tunnel, there were terrifying existences passing through one after another. These were definitely true immortals who crossed the space-time tunnel. They were powerful beyond compare and released an unparalleled true immortal great Tao. 3 true immortals from the Sky Bamboo lineage have come. The people in the city cried out involuntarily. These were true immortal powerhouses. They usually hid in the heavenly paradises and rarely came out. Now, Green Mountain City was facing a devastating attack. The 3 true immortals immediately rushed to Green Mountain City when they received the news. Their speed was extremely shocking. In a short period of time, they crossed the space-time tunnel and rushed to Green Mountain City one after another. However, to everyone's surprise, Su Yan did not leave. He was still in the city. What was he trying to do? Was he trying to fight a true immortal powerhouse to the death? The world acknowledged Su Yan's strength, but the young people in the world were all preparing for the Emperor's path. No one was willing to break through to the true immortal realm now. When the 3 true immortals arrived at Green Mountain City and saw the tragedy here, their expressions changed to anger. Boom! The entire Green Mountain City was surging with killing intent. This was the supreme immortal might that gushed out, filling the entire Green Mountain City. It even continued to spread, sweeping through the vast territory. Zhu Yao. The 3 true immortals were furious. They let out shrill roars. The stars in the universe fell down and smashed into the ground, creating many large black holes. Doomsday scenes were everywhere. It was a ghastly sight. The entire Green Mountain province seemed to be surging with the fury of a true immortal. Countless creatures were alarmed, worried that the true immortal powerhouse would unleash a massacre. Once this kind of existence was angered, millions and millions of corpses would fall. A sea of blood would flow. It was inhumane. Who did this? The three true immortals roared in anger. It was too miserable. Zhu Yao was almost beaten to death. Her forehead was fractured and her arms were torn off. Her entire body was covered in wounds. Of course, this was not important. Her battle clothes were actually destroyed, leaving her naked. This was simply worse than death. Who exactly was it that was humiliating Zhu Yao? It was me. Su Yan replied coldly. He looked at the three true immortals and said indifferently, I don't want to kill her now. When I'm happy, I'll come and kill her. This voice was like the voice of a devil from the 9 hells. Everyone was terrified. Their blood was frozen. Large amounts of experts trembled in fear, finding it difficult to breathe. They were all trembling, thinking that they had misheard. This lunatic. Someone's body trembled. This was really a lunatic, a ruthless person. How could Zhu Yao provoke such a ruthless person? She was basically being targeted by this ruthless person. Bastard! The three true immortals were so angry that their hearts and lungs were about to burst. Boundless anger surged out, vast and peerless. In an instant, the entire universe collapsed and surged towards Su Yan. The following scene made the world fall silent. That person disappeared, turning into a faint green stream of air. It was completely destroyed, as if he had never been here. Mournful roars echoed in Green Mountain City. It was like a churning sea that swept through the land of Green Mountain Province, causing the sky to collapse. This was a great humiliation. The three true immortals' eyes were about to split open. Their roars shook the entire starry sky. They were really about to die of anger. He left just like that and disappeared. This kind of humiliation made the true immortals unable to control themselves. They were really about to go crazy. Immediately, lock down Green Mountain City. No, lock down the entire Green Mountain Province. One of the true immortals was still able to maintain his composure. He spoke in a cold voice to the people, who were rushing out of the space-time tunnel one after another. Immediately go and seal off the entire Qing Shan continent. I don't care who that person is, he must die. The world is going to change. The people in Green Mountain City were terrified. The world was really going to change. The immortal sects were furious and wanted to lock down the entire Green Mountain Province. This was a huge matter. Although Green Mountain Province was under the jurisdiction of the Sky Bamboo Branch. However, there were also some old monsters with shocking origins in Green Mountain Province who were hibernating in the famous mountains and rivers, not caring about worldly affairs. However, once the entire province was locked down, the consequences would be severe. It would probably anger some old antiques. However, the Sky Bamboo Branch was furious. If they insisted on doing so, no one could stop them. If they did not get to the bottom of this humiliation, the Sky Bamboo Branch would definitely lose face. Aren't you leaving? Su Yan was still in the city lord's residence. Bai Yunqi's face was as pale as snow. Su Yan was not going to leave? He actually dared to stay here. Did he not know that the three true immortals of the Sky Bamboo Branch were entrenched in the city? How could Su Yan not be worried? However, the 1 Qi into 3 pure ones was not just a clone technique. It could also improve the aura of Su Yan's soul. Even ancestor-level experts would not be able to see through Su Yan's true colors. Thus, as long as he did not say anything, and as long as there was not a particularly terrifying powerhouse paying attention to him, it would be impossible to see through Su Yan's true colors. Su Yan looked at Bai Yunqi without saying a word. Bai Yunqi clenched her fists and whispered, "Are you going to kill me to silence me?" Tears flowed from her eyes, but she stubbornly raised her head and looked at Su Yan. "If so, I will not resist. I do not have the strength to resist. However, please take good care of my family, even if it is for Shuang's sake." Don't let your imagination run wild. I'm here for revenge. I will not implicate others. Su Yen was calm. He sat cross-legged in the room and said, "This is just one of my clones. I will stay here and continue to enter the sky bamboo branch. However, I need you to forget a memory from before." Bai Yunxi suppressed her emotions. Bai Yunxi suppressed the emotional fluctuations in her heart. She didn't want to forget, she wanted to remember. She even wanted to know who Xia Kunlun was. Su Yen directly erased a part of Bai Yunxi's memory. Bai Yunxi did not resist and erased this part of her essence spirit's memory. Soon, Bai Yunxi fell asleep in the room. As for his other clone, it had already left the city and was heading to the place where the sky bamboo ancestor had fallen. His movements were very fast as he fled far away from this troublesome place. Su Yen was also looking forward to it and was nervous. This was because Su Yen did not know if Bamboo Moon's aspect seed was really in her time ring. Previously, I posted a picture of the naked Zhu Yao. Quickly follow my WeChat public account. Search Azure Sky and immediately see the inhumane images. Chapter 1409. Su Yan's avatar traversed space. For safety's sake, he placed all his wealth in this avatar. In short, the 3 Pure One state meant that he had 3 lives. The death of any avatar wouldn't affect Su Yan's life. Moreover, with his foundation, even if his avatar was destroyed, it wouldn't be a problem to rebuild it. After 2 hours, Su Yan's avatar stopped and looked behind him. The commotion in Green Mountain City was a little shocking. In the direction of Green Mountain City, immortal pressure filled the air, surging with anger and killing intent. It even spread to this region. The influence was too great. What's happening in Green Mountain City? In the vast mountains and rivers, many cultivators awakened from their meditation. They were all frightened as they looked in the direction of Green Mountain City. Immortal Dao suns were released one after another. It was indescribably terrifying. The 10 immortals released their killing intent, and they crossed the major regions of Green Mountain continent. Everywhere they passed, great waves rose to the sky. I'd better be careful. Su Yen frowned slightly. Zhu Yao had almost been killed by him in Green Mountain City in front of countless people. How could the Sky Bamboo bloodline let the matter rest? If they used tyrannical means to detain an expert of unknown origin, Su Yen would probably suffer. Soon, Su Yen approached a famous mountain range. He concealed his aura and used strange methods to break through the domain here, breaking into the local forces of Green Mountain continent. Su Yen lay dormant, his figure sinking into the earth. He dove for tens of thousands of feet, and then opened up an underground cave. He planned to stay here for a while to avoid being discovered by the immortals. I wonder if it's inside? Zhu Yu walked out of the space-time treasure, her face full of anticipation. She had lost the fruit of the way for several years, and it was obvious that Zhu Yao had not refined it. Otherwise, if Su Yen had forced her into such a situation, Zhu Yao would have used all of her means to protect herself against Su Yen. Since it wasn't there, it meant that the sky bamboo seed wasn't easy to refine. It should be inside. She would definitely keep something so valuable close to her body. Su Yen took a deep breath and broke the seal on his essence soul in his time ring. In the sealed Azure Mountain City, Zhu Yao lay in her private chamber, heavily injured. She coughed up blood, and her expression was fierce and vicious, filled with hatred. My time ring! Bastard! That's my life savings and the level 6 evolution fluid. Zhu Yao was so angry that her entire body trembled. The seal on her time ring had been broken. Zhu Yao let out a furious roar. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Cough, cough. She was so angry that she coughed up blood continuously. Her fists were clenched tightly, and her face was filled with malevolence. Zhu Yao, don't think too much. Just focus on recovering. The true immortal expert who was tending to his wounds consoled him. The murderer won't be able to escape. The Green Mountain continent has already set up an inescapable net. No matter how strong he is, he won't be able to escape. We must catch him, we must. Zhu Yao clenched her teeth. How could the anger in her heart be appeased? Blue veins bulged on her face as she continued to cough up blood. How could Zhu Yao take this lying down? The funny thing was that she didn't even know who the enemy was. Now that she had calmed down and seriously thought about it, she still didn't know who had done it. However, the young Devil King's combat power was so domineering. Such an outstanding person couldn't be a nobody. The Sky Bamboo branch was confident that they could dig out Su Yan. In any case, no matter how fast Su Yan was, he couldn't have crossed the Green Mountain continent and left. When she thought about how her treasure had been used by Su Yan again, Zhu Yao was so angry that she fainted. As for Su Yan, his face was gloomy. Although he had gained a lot, he hadn't gotten what he wanted the most. Su Yan, didn't Senior Giant Bamboo say that we have a second chance? Bamboo Moon sat in front of Su Yan. She smiled and said, "Some things can't be rushed. Anyway, you can't continue to attack." The seat of the Sky Bamboo Dharma idol might be with Zhu Lihui. Su Yan sighed. He had been hiding here for a while, and had seen several true immortals pass through. Even the local forces he had been hiding in were questioned by the true immortals. In short, the 10 true immortals of the Sky Bamboo branch were like crazy demons. They detained and took away anyone with unknown origins. They didn't believe that they couldn't dig out Su Yan, as expected of a disciple of the Sky Bamboo branch. Very rich. At this moment, Bamboo Moon stared at the various heavenly treasures piled up on the ground. It was a spectacular sight. There were more than 10,000 immortal herbs. What kind of concept was this? The number 1 of the Bai family, Bai Yunxi, was only worth 1,000 immortal herbs. However, Zhu Yao's time ring had 13,000 of them. Su Yan was speechless. She had really become rich overnight. A pillow came when I wanted to sleep. I really have to thank Zhu Yao. Su Yan's face was full of smiles as he kept the immortal treasure. Then, he focused on observing the other treasures. Su Yan felt that in the immortal heavenly domain, although the immortal treasure was the currency, it was definitely not a top-tier resource. There might be other resources for the cultivation of the immortal realm. He should be able to find them in Zhu Yao's time ring. Su Yan, these sealed jade bottles contain golden core secret medicines. Bamboo Moon's eyes lit up. Her snow-white cheeks flashed with a surprised smile. Her slender jade-like hands found 16 jade bottles. Su Yan broke all the seals on the jade bottles. He had obtained 12 immortal golden cores. These immortal golden cores are rare items that can mature the battle physique. They contain a large amount of immortal substance. Su Yan said, "But they are useless to me. I can sell them for a good price." The rest were all healing pills. Soon, Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. He found 2 pills that could nourish the primordial spirit. Although I don't know what kind of pills they are able to heal the primordial spirit. But from the looks of it, it can restore a person's soul. It will definitely be helpful to Senior Giant Bamboo. Su Yan stretched out his hand. A ball of blazing flame spurted out from his palm. He refined the pills into liquid. Then, he sprinkled bamboo leaves on the withered bamboo leaves. The bamboo leaves glowed. Under the nourishment of the primordial spirit recovery liquid, the leaves began to bloom with vitality. Even the weak soul energy inside them began to grow rapidly. Su Yan laughed heartily. Now that Zhu Yao could wake up, he also had a backbone. After all, Su Yan did not know much about the immortal heavenly domain. With the help of Zhu Yao, he would be able to avoid many detours. What's this? Bamboo Moon held an emerald jade cauldron. This cauldron was extremely exquisite. It was carved out of rare jade and was filled with a very special liquid. Su Yan was surprised. He stared at the jade cauldron. The liquid in the cauldron was very special. He could not see anything special about the blue liquid. This jade cauldron was reinforced with more than a dozen seals. Obviously, Zhu Yao attached great importance to it. When Senior Giant Bamboo wakes up, I'll ask him if he knows. Su Yan did not open the seals on the jade cauldron. He was afraid that the cauldron's medicinal efficacy would be lost. He guessed that this cauldron must be extraordinary. Next, Su Yan found a large number of heavenly treasures in Zhu Yao's time ring. There were a lot of them, and Su Yan could not name many of them. However, they contained extremely dense immortal substances. Bamboo Moon was pleasantly surprised. With these herbs, Su Yan's improvement would definitely skyrocket. Although reaching the 8th heavenly layer was not difficult, reaching the 9th heavenly layer would be difficult. The amount of resources required would definitely be huge. And the resources in Zhu Yao's time ring would definitely be enough to satisfy Su Yan's cultivation. After all, in order to become an expert in the immortal heavenly domain, the immortal Tao realm was the most important goal. Su Yan had to quickly come in contact with the immortal Tao realm. Su Yan, is there anything special about these black stones? When Zhu Yu saw Su Yan inspecting a large batch of black stones, there were about a dozen of them. Each of them weighed about 50 kilograms. She was surprised and did not feel that the black stones were special. Su Yan stretched out his hand. The black stones were only the size of a fist, but they weighed more than 100 kilograms. He used his palm to rub the surface of the ancient stone and smiled. Maybe this is the most important thing. Gotcha. Su Yan exerted force on his palm and cracked the surface of the black stone. It was like a sealed sun blossoming with resplendent multicolored light. It was very blazing and dazzling. When the surface of the stone fell off, a fist-sized substance appeared in front of their eyes. This substance was entirely green, and it was swallowing on its own. There was actually a strong light of life blossoming within it. Bamboo Moon was shocked. As the green substance swallowed, the entire cavern's space-time rumbled and fluctuated. Its influence was too shocking. What is this? Su Yan was greatly shocked. It was even more special than he expected. The green substance seemed to contain life. It was breathing and surging with vitality, yet it was surrounded by immortal mist. It was extremely mysterious. Su Yan's palm shone and absorbed a strand of green energy from it. Boom! In a split second, Su Yan's body recovered. His flesh and blood were bright, his qi and blood were vigorous. His body's functions were huge. Inconceivable! Bamboo Moon cried out in surprise. Under the nourishment of the green energy, Su Yan's body shone. The immortal energy within was strengthening. Even his flesh shell was being nourished. This type of cultivation speed was more than 10 times faster than refining immortal precious medicines. Bamboo Moon's eyes widened. This was definitely an extremely precious top-quality resource, not something immortal precious medicines could compare to. Ah! We're rich this time! Su Yan cried out in excitement. After crazily absorbing more than 10 strands of green energy, this lump of substance also weakened by a large amount. However, Su Yan's aura became much more vigorous. His aura was quickly advancing towards the 8th heavenly layer. It wasn't even limited to this. Su Yan discovered that within the green energy, there was a type of immortal Tao substance. This had a nourishing effect on Su Yan's body, suspected to be able to strengthen his life essence. Su Yan suppressed the excitement in his heart. He intercepted a strand of green energy from his palm and sent it into Bamboo Moon's body. This energy could be considered a great tonic. It could cleanse the body and strengthen one's life essence. He felt that it would also be of great help to Bamboo Moon. Indeed, under the nourishment of the energy, Bamboo Moon's delicate body blossomed with multicolored light. Her declining body's functions were strengthened, and her entire person seemed to have become several years younger. Su Yan was excited. He definitely didn't expect this thing to be so special. It could solve the problem of Bamboo Moon's life essence. My body has recovered a lot of vitality. Bamboo Moon smiled happily. This treasure is really too precious. I wonder what it is. I reckon that it is an extremely important cultivation resource in the sky bamboo lineage. In short, this was the first time Su Yan came into contact with it. He didn't know what it was called. Unfortunately, the green energy was only extracted a few dozen strands before it collapsed. Su Yan continued to open the second one. This was a milky white energy body. Its effect was almost the same as the previous one. Su Yan laughed heartily. It seemed that he was very close to entering the 8th heavenly layer. Time flew by. 3 days later, a strand of vast aura covered the entire Qingshan continent. Boom! The vast mountains and earth rumbled violently. The sun and moon in the sky shook, and then they were drowned by a terrifying aura. Time seemed to have stopped. Su Yan's scalp went numb. What kind of person was this? The aura drowned the entire Qingshan continent. It was truly outrageous and terrifying. This vast energy even spread into the distance. Even the nearby continents were rumbling. A terrifying change. Billions of living beings in the Qingshan continent trembled. Many cultivators prostrated themselves on the ground, unable to raise their heads. The old antiques of the nearby continents were shocked. They whispered, "What happened in the Qingshan continent?" It alarmed the Zenith Heaven True Immortals. Send an order to investigate. Chapter 1410. The entire Green Mountain continent was in an uproar. This was a rich continent, full of talents and experts. But to them, a Daluo True Immortal was like a dream, an expert they could only look up to. The entire Green Mountain city was in an uproar. A Daluo True Immortal uncontrollably leaked his blood and qi, sweeping across the entire Green Mountain continent. Even the surrounding continents rumbled, causing a shocking change. Rumble! The entire continent trembled along with the blood and qi, the mountains and mountains rumbled. The moment the blood and qi surged in the Green Mountain continent, a terrifying figure was awakening. Daluo True Immortal, countless cultivators trembled and bowed down in worship. That figure alone was enough to suppress their souls, making them unable to summon any thoughts of resistance. They were all subdued by his majestic appearance. Many factions and sects in the Green Mountain continent were uneasy. They had heard some rumors recently, but they could not verify it. Now that a true immortal of the great firmament had descended upon Green Mountain City, it had caused a shocking storm. His blood had flooded the entire rich continent. How could they not be shocked by this scene? Even the experts of the nearby continents were terrified. They all gave orders to investigate this matter. So strong. Su Yan was shocked. This was the top expert of the heavenly bamboo? This was the overlord of the undying heavenly domain? Even someone as strong as him was frightened, as if he was being targeted by a supreme being who could kill him at any time. Something happened to Zhu Yao, and now the Daluo True Immortal of the clan is here. Is it Zhu Lihui? Su Yan's eyes flashed with a bone-chilling coldness, looking at the towering and terrifying figure standing in Green Mountain City. Could it be Zhu Lihui? It's him. Giant bamboo suddenly woke up, the withered yellow leaves glowed, surging with an ancient will and a murderous aura. Su Yan was silent as he looked at the figure in Qingshan City. It seemed that this was a true immortal of the great all-embracing heaven. This was a supreme figure in the immortal Dao realm, and this was Su Yan's enemy Zhu Lihui. Experts of this level are rare even in the vast undying heavenly domain. They are usually in the central heavenly domain. Although this is a rich continent, it's still a small place for experts of this level. Giant Bamboo said, "A Daluo True Immortal is not scary, but a Daluo Golden Immortal." Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal? Su Yan was moved. He knew of the true immortal realm of the great firmament. This was an expert who had reached the pinnacle of the immortal Dao realm and was known as the Great Firmament. However, Su Yan did not know much about the Golden Immortal, nor had he heard of this realm. This realm is very terrifying. It is already very impressive for an immortal sect to produce one in each universe epic. Su Yen was flabbergasted by Giant Bamboo's exclamation. It was already amazing to have one in one universe epic? In that case, cultivating a Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal would be even more difficult than cultivating a Supreme Overlord of the younger generation. Su Yan's emotions surged. This was a realm that existed only in legend. The conditions required to become a Golden Immortal are extremely special. First of all, the Supreme Treasure Body is only one of them. The Bamboo Moon was shocked. The Supreme Treasure Body was only one of the conditions. Then, she did not know what kind of special reason was needed to become a Golden Immortal. How big is the gap? Su Yen asked. The gap is about the same as the Immortal Realm. However, the probability of being born between the two is like heaven and earth. Su Yen was shocked. The gap was too big. Even the probability of being born was extremely slim. Giant Bamboo also said that the difference was like heaven and earth. The difficulty was too shocking. The Emperor Road is a place of fortune to become a Golden Immortal. Giant Bamboo added, you can see the uniqueness of the Emperor Road. It is a place that must be fought for. The battles between the top 100 are extremely fierce. The top 100 of the Emperor ranking was already a supreme honor. However, the most terrifying place of fortune in the Emperor Road was where even the top 100 would fall. It was hard to imagine how earth-shattering the battles would be. However, even the Supreme Overlords would risk their lives for the sake of becoming a Golden Immortal. Su Yen. At this moment, the bamboo leaf glowed and turned into a bamboo. It said to him, you have great potential. There will be a place for you in the top 100 in the future. Top 100? Su Yen shook his head slightly. That was not what he wanted. You actually got the Immortal Dao Stones. Giant Bamboo was surprised. It looked at the Immortal Dao Stones on the ground. There were still about 700 gene left. The rest had been refined by Su Yen. He was very close to the 8th heavenly layer. It would not be long before he broke through. These are Immortal Dao Stones. Su Yen smiled and said, Senior, these stones must be very valuable, right? Of course. Giant Bamboo said, in the immortal heavenly domain, the immortal substance is rich in Emperor's tribulation. After accumulating for a long time, the essence of heaven and earth would form immortal ore veins. There is a certain chance of producing Immortal Dao Stones in these ore veins. This is a top-notch cultivation resource and is also the currency of the immortal heavenly domain. This thing is very rare and precious. Immortal Dao realm cultivators need Immortal Dao Stones to strengthen their strength. Moreover, this resource is almost monopolized by the Immortal Dao orthodoxies. Even absorbing the energy of Immortal Dao Stones can strengthen one's life essence. However, the amount required is huge. A few hundred gene is not enough. Giant Bamboo stopped talking. Soon, his illusory shadow floated above the green jade cauldron. Where did you get this thing? Giant Bamboo was shocked. His voice was filled with excitement. Senior, is this thing very valuable? Su Yen told Giant Bamboo about Zhu Yao's matter. This surprised and delighted Giant Bamboo. He said, Su Yen, you must be careful. Do not be careless. If you fail, all your previous efforts will be wasted. Su Yan's heart was heavy. Even a Zenith Heavenly True Immortal was here. He naturally knew the severity of the situation. Of course, you obtained a Grade 6 Life Essence Evolution Fluid. The risk was worth it. Life Essence Evolution Fluid. Su Yen was stunned. He asked, Life Essence can be evolved? Of course. Giant Bamboo nodded and said excitedly, this thing is too rare. From Grade 1 to Grade 9, Grade 1 is the weakest and Grade 9 is the strongest. Although it is only Grade 6, it is still very valuable. It is almost impossible to buy. Only the flourishing immortal orthodoxies have the ability to gather precious immortal minerals and rare herbs to refine this kind of evolution fluid. Of course, even so, it is extremely difficult to gather a furnace of it without tens of thousands of years. Su Yen was flabbergasted. This thing was too precious. Open the seal and refine it directly. It is useless to keep it. Su Yen did not hesitate. He opened more than 10 layers of seals. When the blue liquid was exposed to the air, it changed. It was completely different. It was as if it had a life of its own. It was flowing, awakening, and releasing a vast life force. In fact, it was accompanied by a medicinal aroma, immortal mist, and a majestic life force that was blossoming. Bamboo Moon only took a few sniffs and felt as if she had ascended. She was also dumbfounded. This kind of evolution fluid was too outrageous. Su Yen opened his mouth and swallowed the life essence evolution fluid. In the blink of an eye, his flesh glowed and his blood energy surged. His body was blazing as if it was about to explode. Su Yen let out a low roar. At first, he was in pain. It was as if his skin and bones were being peeled off, as if he was being burned in a furnace, as if his tendons and bones were being dislocated. Immediately afterward, his flesh turned red as his blood energy swelled and his tendons and bones began to resonate. This was a kind of terrifying life evolution energy that nourished Su Yan's body, causing his life essence to strengthen and flourish. Almost with every breath, Su Yan's surging aura became a little stronger. Su Yan's life essence was already outrageous. Now, under the stimulation of the Grade 6 evolution fluid, his life essence strengthened once again. Even Su Yen felt that his indestructible avatar was strengthening on its own and was advancing toward minor success. Immediately afterward, Su Yen used the immortal Tao stone to replenish the nourishing energy required for the evolution process. Time passed slowly. After half a day, Su Yen had refined another 50 kilograms of immortal Tao stone and exhausted the Grade 6 evolution fluid. However, Su Yan's life essence had been forcibly increased by a level. This made him excited. This thing is too outrageous. It can even strengthen my life essence. It's the same as strengthening my path of immortality. I never thought there would be such a miraculous medicine in this world. Su Yan's blood energy was too vigorous. It had formed an immortal dragon and almost caused the defensive formation to explode. He's getting stronger and stronger. Juju was shocked. I've underestimated Su Yen. He has a certain chance of entering the top 30 on the Emperor rankings. If he has some opportunities in the future, he might even enter the top 10. Su Yan's flesh shell shone brilliantly as he sat cross-legged in the underground universe. His body glowed as he was nourished by the evolution fluid. He had vaguely grasped a kind of shackle that locked down his supreme life essence. This is... he pondered. Back then, Su Yan's life essence had been activated by the Emperor rankings. Unfortunately, it hadn't completed the evolution. Now, he had grasped this feeling. Su Yen was surprised and happy. If he could find a higher quality evolution fluid in the future, he might have a great chance. Originally, I was about to step into the 8th heavenly layer. However, because my life essence has improved a lot, it will take some time. Su Yan's words made Juju laugh. This is normal. Even a true immortal can obtain a lot of room for improvement after evolving. In short, the immortal realm is the beginning of the path of life essence evolution. You still have a long way to go. Su Yen naturally knew that he had obtained the secrets of Xianhuang Universe's evolution. However, he hadn't touched upon the higher level of life essence evolution. Perhaps only when he reached the true immortal realm would he be able to touch upon the majestic path of evolution. Senior, we're still some distance away from the place where ancestor Tianzhu died. However, Su Yen spoke of his worries. Juju replied, it's fine. I've recovered a bit of my mental power. I can explore spacetime and avoid the true immortal's location in advance. Senior, is there any hope of a complete recovery? Su Yen was expectant. I don't know. Zhu Zhu sighed and said, however, if we can successfully return to the family, we should be able to obtain the precious medicine in the forbidden area. Su Yan's heart was burning. Zhu Zhu had the ability to open the forbidden area of Tian Zhu's ancestral land and obtain the fortune. Su Yan, I noticed that your primordial spirit is extraordinary. The focus of your cultivation should be on the transformation of your primordial spirit. If you can obtain some primordial spirit precious medicine to help your primordial spirit transform, you'll be able to obtain the means to shock your peers in the Emperor's Road. Su Yen nodded and took Zhu Zhu's words to heart. Then, they quietly left the underground cave and began to cross to the place where ancestor Tian Zhu died. Meanwhile, in Bluestone City, the true immortal of the grand all-embracing heaven's anger had subsided. However, there was still a lingering aura. Trash. Zhu Lihui was furious. The two true immortals were trembling. After all, several days had passed, and they still couldn't find any clues. Could it be that Su Yen had really left? Zhu Lihui's face was gloomy. He tried to deduce, but he didn't gain much. Could the Grand Ancestor be here for the Tier 6 evolution fluid? Zhu Yao's injuries had recovered a little, and she said with a face full of hatred. Hearing this, Zhu Lihui shook his head slightly and said, "That's not very likely. The Tier 6 evolution fluid isn't enough to make some factions go crazy." In the past, there had indeed been a case where a powerful enemy had attacked and killed the clan's legacy disciples to steal the evolution fluid. Of course, they weren't here for the evolution fluid. They were here for the formula of the evolution fluid. The formula of the life essence evolution fluid was not something that any faction had. If the formula of this evolution fluid could affect the fate of the clan, one could imagine how valuable it was. Once, the Tianzhu's clan had refined a Tier 8 evolution fluid, which caused a huge commotion and even helped the clan to become a Daluo Golden Immortal. One could imagine how ridiculous this evolution fluid was. Its value was too high, and they wouldn't sell it out. Of course, the resources required to refine it were even more frightening. It would easily take hundreds of thousands of years to accumulate the herbs. As for the legendary Tier 9 Life Essence Evolution Fluid, it was something that even the Xian people would find difficult to refine. That was because the materials required were too valuable. It involved ultimate treasured herbs and even supreme treasured materials like the Universe Fate Stone. I've lost the Tier 6 Evolution Fluid and caused our clan to lose face. Patriarch, please report this to the clan for punishment. Zhu Yao said with a trembling voice. The impact of this incident would most likely be shocking. Who would have thought that Su Yen would act so crazily in Qingshan City? Of course, Zhu Yao wasn't worried that Zhu Lihui would punish her. After all, they had a private deal. Zhu Yao, you're not guilty in this matter. I'll deal with it fully. Zhu Lihui said indifferently. As for the evolution fluid, the clan will compensate you. Compensate me? Zhu Yao was shocked. The clan didn't have much in stock. Moreover, the Tier 6 evolution fluid she had was something that couldn't be bought with money. It was something that Zhu Yao had prepared to improve herself further. Counting the time, it's almost done. Zhu Lihui smiled. Since the Emperor Road has opened, our clan is naturally prepared. We've been preparing to brew a furnace of evolution fluid since a few years ago. If we're lucky enough, we should be able to refine a Tier 7 evolution fluid. The two true immortals kneeling on the ground were excited. A Tier 7 evolution fluid was incredibly valuable. If Zhu Yanghua could absorb it, she would definitely improve. Zhu Yao was silent. Even if there was a Tier 7 evolution fluid, it wouldn't be hers. At most, it would be a Tier 6 evolution fluid. At this moment, the two true immortals gathered their courage and asked, Patriarch, how should we deal with the madman? Zhu Lihui's eyes flashed coldly as he shouted, "Continue to seal off the Qingshan continent. Also, disable the cross-continent teleportation circles in the nearby continent. I'll activate the heavenly secret stage. No matter where he's hiding, we must dig him out." The heavenly secret stage. The two true immortals exclaimed. This was the heavenly bamboo progenitor's treasure. Although Zhu Yao was a noble, did she have the qualifications to make the clan activate the heavenly secret stage? After all, once the heavenly secret stage was activated, the resources required would be astronomical. Of course, if they really activated the heavenly secret stage, they would definitely be able to locate the madman. The most important thing was to find out his identity. De Zhang. Chapter 14:11. The situation in the Green Mountain continent was tense. There were very few experts from the outside world who wanted to avoid trouble. In the past few days, the Sky Bamboo branch had detained many powerful cultivators, causing many forces to complain and complain. However, they still couldn't find any traces of the young Devil King. This matter was a heavy blow to them. The true immortals of the various clans were also enraged. They searched the entire world for Su Yan. They didn't believe that they couldn't find him. Su Yan walked and stopped all the way. After spending 3 days, he finally arrived at his destination. This was a great black plain that stretched for millions of kilometers. Because of the thin aura of life, there were very few living beings that appeared on the black plain. Su Yan could not tell what was so special about this place. He walked on the black plain and looked around. He felt that the soil was very hard and the starry sky was very deep. There was even a kind of pressure, as if the sky was about to fall and suppress him. This is... Su Yan was moved. He stared at the starry sky. His essence, qi, and spirit were released. Majestic soul energy was released, covering the vast spacetime. There was a very terrifying force field that was blocking him. Compared to the ancient force field, Su Yan felt like he was struck by lightning. He felt weak. Su Yan was shocked. The force field here was very majestic. It was impossible to break it. Su Yan also endured the pressure and tried to observe. He wanted to know more, but when he tried to observe on a deeper level, he realized that he had yet to reach the true immortal realm. Su Yan's mind was in a daze, and he was a little weak. This made him shiver, and he quickly cut off his probing. Su Yan immediately concluded that this was the most mysterious Grandmaster. This was not something he could touch. This seems to be the entrance to a mysterious world, but it is sealed. Su Yan said in secret. At this time, the giant bamboo's old voice came. This seems to be the entrance to the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Su Yan was shocked. The 10,000 tribe battlefield was the trial ground of the second stage of the Emperor Road. It was also the place where the top 10,000 contenders fought for supremacy. There were many similar entrances. Su Yan did not expect to encounter one here. In other words, the primogenitor's aura that the giant bamboo sensed was headed to the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Not good. At this moment, the giant bamboo said urgently, "Hurry up and leave this place. I was too careless. I've been exploring this area all this time, so I didn't notice that there are other experts hiding here." Su Yan's heart froze up. The powerful being that the giant bamboo tree was talking about was most likely a powerful being of the true immortal state. Su Yan hurriedly retreated and left the area. If this had been in the past, it would have been fine. But now that the Sky Bamboo lineage had put him on the wanted list everywhere, the consequences would be unimaginable if he were to encounter any mishaps. Bang! However, the space-time Su Yan retreated to suddenly turned cold. The energy of the immortal Tao bloomed, sealing off Su Yan's path of retreat. At the same time, a black-robed expert appeared from the spacetime behind him. The black-robed old man was short and his eyes were cold like a venomous snake. With just a glance, Su Yan felt as if he had fallen into an ice cave. It was very cold. His aura was too cold, so cold that it pierced the bones. It was as if it wanted to freeze Su Yan's blood and freeze his entire being. 1. Su Yan's frontal bone burned brightly as powerful primordial spirit energy surged, breaking through the ice seal. The black-robed man was particularly surprised. He knew that the immortal Tao scriptures he cultivated could easily seal an undying overlord. Even the primordial spirit was no exception. However, Su Yan's primordial spirit was exceptionally powerful. It was brimming with soul energy and blazing flames. This was a primordial spirit that was close to the strength of the immortal Tao domain. This left the black-robed old man particularly surprised. This young man's primordial spirit was too powerful. Across the entire sky bamboo lineage, there were few who could match him. Swish! Su Yan's feet stepped on spacetime. His aura was violent as he instantly traversed the black plains. With Su Yan's explosive strength, he could definitely reach the end in an instant. Furthermore, due to the exuberant energy, it caused space to distort. It was unable to withstand Su Yan's strength. Good lad! The black-robed old man was even more shocked. Which orthodoxy's successor was this? It was fine if his primordial spirit was powerful, but just the exuberant undying substance within his body was enough for him to look down on his peers and dominate a region. In the future, he would most likely have a place in the myriad race battlefield. However, the black-robed old man did not take action. Instead, he looked at Su Yan with a mocking gaze. Su Yan rapidly traversed spacetime. His powerful body caused the black plains to shake. It had to be said that his aura was too shocking. However, just as Su Yan traversed a distance, a sea of flames appeared in front of him. It was inexplicably terrifying. Su Yan's face darkened as his mind sank into a valley. This time, he had really failed miserably. Another true immortal stepped forward. He wore a golden robe and looked very dignified. His eyes were resplendent like two burning divine lamps, illuminating the black plains. Under his gaze, Su Yan's body started to heat up. It was very unbearable. The black-robed man's aura was cold, but the golden-robed man's aura was blazing. They were two completely opposite energies. Under the suppression of the true immortal domain of ice and fire, Su Yan could not move at all. Su Yan could neither advance nor retreat. He could only stand in the void and calmly ask, "Seniors, why are you blocking my path?" You can really keep your composure," the black-robed man said in a sinister tone. "Young man, you are quite extraordinary. I wonder which orthodoxy's outstanding disciple are you? Tell me the name of your family's elder. Who knows, I might know him. The age of my master's origin is untraceable," Su Yan said in a deep voice. "I don't have any orthodoxy. My master roams the void all year round. Even if I tell you his name, you won't know." Su Yan was full of nonsense, hoping to scare them. However, these two true immortals were not easy to fool. The golden-robed man sneered, "You trespassed into our clan's territory. If you don't tell us your origin, do you think you can leave?" "What? This is one of the entrances to the 10,000 races battlefield. Has it become your clan's private property?" Su Yan replied indifferently. The two experts' expressions changed. They did not expect this kid to know that this was the entrance to the 10,000 races battlefield. One must know that the entrance to the 10,000 races battlefield was not fixed at a fixed location. Even this entrance was accidentally discovered by their clan when they were searching for the fallen progenitors. But a junior of unknown origin actually directly spoke of the origins of this place, which truly made them apprehensive. "Little friend, your words are really shocking," the black-robed man sneered, "but you want to get away with just a few words? I'm afraid that's not enough. If you don't tell us your origin, you can stay here and let the experts of your clan come and ransom you." "Ransom me?" Su Yan's eyes flashed coldly as he shouted, "You guys sure talk big. I respect you guys as seniors. I don't mean to be disrespectful. If you guys want to make things difficult for me, then I'm not someone to be trifled with." The two true immortals' expressions were uncertain. Su Yan's confidence was too great, causing them to be somewhat fearful. They were also uncertain in their hearts. If they really provoked an old monster that they should not provoke, it would not be a good thing. I'll take my leave first. Su Yan left quickly. He did not want to get into trouble. Once he caused a commotion, it would cause a huge impact. After all, there were still Deluo true immortals in the Qingshan continent. Time seemed to pass slowly, just as Su Yan was about to leave the Black Plains. His eyes flashed with killing intent. A murderous glint flashed in his eyes. He turned his head and saw the two approaching figures. He said angrily, "What? You want to keep me here?" A few days ago in Green Mountain City, a young man attacked my clan's pearl and humiliated my clan. Do you think it's you? Old Man Black suddenly said eerily, "This concerns my clan's reputation. Whether it's you or not, you must stay here now. Wait for my clan's ancestor to figure out your origin, then he'll send you away. Su Yan, take Bamboo Moon and leave. The farther the better. I'll use my soul power to hit the entrance of the battlefield. It'll cause a space-time storm." The giant bamboo was anxious, and as it spoke, it went silent. Because Su Yan was too calm. He stood between heaven and earth and glared at the two true immortals. He shouted, "Is the Sky Bamboo lineage a bunch of bullies? Is it really you?" The two true immortals' auras were cold and intimidating. One side was like hell, while the other was like a sea of fire. Two extreme energies were also two extreme great Daos. Once they burned here, Su Yan couldn't stand it. This was really a combination of ice and fire. The rolling energy storm was about to tear Su Yan's body apart. Boom! They attacked at the same time, reaching out their hands to grab Su Yan. "You're the ones who forced me to do this. Killing two true immortals will most likely cause the Sky Bamboo lineage great heartache." Su Yan's expression was cold. He rose from the ground and soared to the top of the sky. However, the two true immortals' hands were getting closer and closer to Su Yan. They were about to cover Su Yan's body. Suddenly, Su Yan reached out his hand. A broken bronze cauldron floated in his palm. As Su Yan flipped his palm, the broken cauldron woke up with a boom. The cauldron enlarged and covered the entire sky. The world changed. It was pitch black like ink. The cauldron suddenly dropped down. Black tides came one after another. At first, these substances were relatively calm. However, when the black tides fell, the space-time trembled and soon became empty. "What is this?" The two true immortals' expressions changed. The rolling black substance's aura was extremely sinister, drowning the entire space-time. Moreover, these substances seemed to have a life of their own. They flowed on their own and devoured the two powerful life forms. The demonic fog could be seen with the naked eye. It flowed along their palms and surged towards their bodies at an extremely fast speed. The two powerhouses were shocked. They felt that their lives were flowing away. Their true immortal origins were leaking out. All sources of energy were being devoured by the demonic fog. Giant Bamboo was stunned. This was the dark matter. However, Su Yan had collected a huge amount of dark matter with the broken cauldron. Now, he poured down a large amount of it, drowning the two true immortals. "What the hell is this?" The two true immortals cried out in alarm. They erupted with their strongest energy to disperse the dark matter that covered their bodies. When they awakened, it was terrifying beyond compare. The entire Great Black Plains began to tremble, powerful auras filling the sky dome. Half of Green Mountain continent began to shake. What is going on? Could it be that they found the young Devil King? In Green Mountain continent, the expressions of many local powers experts changed. This was the aura of an immortal Tao Peak expert. It filled the vast world, crushing the endless mountains and seas until they cried out, the sun and moon fell. Immediately afterwards, the faces of the cultivators who saw this scene changed. They saw the two true immortals roar and shake the rivers and mountains. They burned their true immortal origins, as if they were resisting some kind of enemy. Damn it, what exactly is this? The two true immortals roared out, in so much pain that they wished they were dead. They were both aging, hair falling off. This left them in despair. What kind of energy substance was this? It was sucking at their lives, making their bodily functions decline. They were both going to die of old age. It was to the extent where this substance was difficult to disperse. It was like a maggot in one's bones, merging with their bodies. This left the two truly terrified, scared half to death. This thing was difficult to get rid of with their strength. Little bastard, stop right there. The two true immortals were furious. They saw Su Yen carve a domain in spacetime, creating a teleportation formation that crossed spacetime. Old bastards, enjoy it. You're lucky to be able to survive. Su Yen put away the broken cauldron and began to cross spacetime. He laughed bitterly in his heart. If he really killed the two true immortals, the Sky Bamboo lineage would most likely go crazy. At that time, the situation in Green Mountain Continent would become even more tense. Chapter 14:12. The Black Plains shook and swept across the vast world, attracting the attention of the world. Roar! The peak true immortals went berserk. Their shrill roars shook the mountains and rivers. Vast immortal aura surged and illuminated the universe. Then, a monstrous fog rose and drowned the true immortals' chi and blood. This was a scene of darkness that covered the sun. One couldn't even see their fingers or see anything. Everyone was stunned. What kind of energy could suppress the energy of two peak true immortals? Could it be another grand heavenly expert? However, this kind of existence was hard to come by even in a rich continent. Normally, they would be entrenched in the central region. It seems to be the entrance of the 10,000 tribes battlefield. In Green Mountain City, Zhu Lihui's face was gloomy. Their clan had two true immortals guarding the entrance, waiting for the opening of the 10,000 tribes battlefield. Could something have happened there? He crossed endless rivers and mountains. When he arrived at his destination, Zhu Lihui's body tensed up. There was even a trace of fear in his heart. Could it be the dark matter here? Zhu Lihui's face was gloomy. How could such a substance appear in Green Mountain Continent? It was even in the territory under their jurisdiction. This wasn't a good thing. If it wasn't handled well, it would cause a lot of trouble. The dark calamity that could cause the Xianwang Celestial Region to change appeared in the Undying Celestial Region. Would the Undying Celestial Region's status fall in the future? In an instant, Zhu Lihui thought of many things. His expression became more and more fearful, and his scalp went numb. This was a huge matter. Once it spread, the entire Undying Celestial Region would be in chaos. He rushed up and took out a yellow-skinned gourd to collect the dark matter floating in the air. Boom! The yellow-skinned gourd was extremely powerful. It was a precious treasure of the immortal Tao. When it was spat out, heaven and earth rumbled, and the mountains rumbled. Then, the vast space-time dimmed and was swallowed by the gourd. The gourd had the power of heaven and earth, could even suck out the entire ocean in an instant. A large amount of demonic fog was swallowed by the yellow-skinned gourd. Then, Zhu Lihui felt his heart ache. His precious treasure of the immortal Tao had been contaminated. Its spiritual qi was greatly damaged, and its power was decreasing rapidly. It was about to be swallowed by the dark matter. It's really the dark calamity. Just like the legends, it can contaminate everything. Zhu Lihui was frightened. He was about to retreat and return to his clan to ask for help. He felt that this matter was too big and out of his control. He had to report it to his family. No, the dark matter here is somewhat rare. Then, Zhu Lihui realized that the yellow-skinned gourd had already swallowed half of it. There wasn't much left. Zhu Lihui relaxed and calmed down. It was much better than what he had expected. The dark matter could still be dissolved. Zhu Lihui once again summoned an immortal cauldron to collect the dark matter. In the process, his body didn't dare to come into contact with the dark matter at all. protective divine light also revolved around his body. When more than half of the vast darkness dissipated, a shattered black plane was revealed. The two peak true immortals were in terrible condition. You! Zhu Lihui's expression changed drastically. This scene stung his heart. Bastard, how can there be dark matter here? Zhu Lihui's expression was ferocious. These were two peak true immortals. Their bodies had been invaded by the devilish fog, and the dark matter was even sucking away their life energy. In just an extremely short period of time, these two true immortals had almost died. I hate it! The golden-robed man couldn't take it anymore. His life force was drying up. He let out a sorrowful roar and displayed the previous scene. The container stored a large amount of dark matter. What kind of supreme treasure is this? Zhu Lihui's scalp went numb. He saw a black-robed figure holding a damaged cauldron that stored a large amount of dark matter. He collapsed a large amount, causing such a tragedy. It seemed that this person was the black-robed youth who attacked Zhu Yao in Green Mountain City. I can't accept this. The golden-robed man let out a sorrowful and indignant cry. His body was withered and more than half cracked. The thick black matter was still flowing in his body. In the end, it began to suck away their souls. Bam! In the end, the golden-robed old man exploded. His body was shattered, and the light of his primordial spirit was extinguished. He died. Zhu Lihui, bastard! The black-robed man roared. His eyes were about to split open, and he was about to go mad with hatred. His roar caused the mountains to explode. Large cracks appeared on the ruined black plain, causing a scene of heaven and earth collapsing. Zhu Xingwen's eyes were blood-red. He had failed miserably. A junior had killed a peak true immortal. This was a great humiliation. Zhu Xingwen could barely withstand it. The main reason was that the heavenly technique he cultivated was very special. As for Zhu Lihui, his aura was young, so he was completely restrained by the devil fog. Although Zhu Xingwen was still alive and could still hold on, he only had half of his life left. Who did this? Zhu Lihui let out an angry roar that shook the heavens and the earth. The ruined black plain collapsed, shaking the world in the distance violently. A group of experts who rushed over from afar trembled and fell from the void. They shivered, and the blood in their bodies trembled uncontrollably, causing them to feel dizzy. Some people were coughing up blood, unable to withstand the flames of anger of a true immortal. What kind of terrifying killing intent was this? It wanted to split open their souls and shatter their bodies and minds. Now, Zhu Xingwen only had half of his life left. He was hurriedly taken away by Zhu Lihui. This was a peak true immortal. Once he died, it would be a heavy blow to their group. Zhu Xingwen still had one life left, so he had to be brought back to the group to recuperate. It was to the extent that Zhu Lihui almost couldn't suppress the darkness matter in the treasure. He had to be brought back to the group to deal with it. What a pity, only one died. Su Yan was in an extremely distant area. He also caught the scene here. He felt pity. If Zhu Lihui didn't rush over in time, Zhu Xingwen wouldn't have survived. The devil fog was something that even the old ancestors of the Xian people feared. Su Yan's damaged cauldron was filled with a large amount of darkness matter. Just now, a large portion of it was poured out, but there was still a lot left. However, the more he used it, the less he would use it. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he wasn't willing to pour it all out. Be content. Zhu Zhu laughed bitterly. Do you know what kind of person you killed? A peak true immortal, a transcendent existence, already very close to the true immortal realm. If one of them died and one was injured, it would lead to a huge storm. Sure enough, Qingshan continent continued to be shaken. One of the two true immortals died and the other was injured. Even a few days ago, Zhu Yao was brutally beaten up and almost died. There were rumors that it was the same person who did it. The world couldn't believe it. The young demon king had killed a peak true immortal. How did he do it? As for the Black Plains, It was sealed by Zhu Lihui's immortal Tao order. The experts in the outside world didn't know about the darkness matter for now. What kind of bad luck did the sky bamboo branch have? Did they provoke a vicious demon king? The impact of this matter was huge. It affected more than a dozen continents. Some immortal sects were paying close attention. They were also quite shocked. Is the clan going to weaken? After such a big incident, they still haven't found the culprit? This is ridiculous. It's said that the old ancestors of the sky bamboo branch are furious. They sent dozens of true immortals to search for the culprit. Crazy? It would be strange if they weren't crazy. A peak true immortal was killed, and an immortal at that. This is ridiculous. Just wait, this matter won't end well. Tell the disciples to stay away from the Green Mountain continent, lest the sky bamboo branch bite them. In the next few days, the development of the matter made people panic. The Green Mountain continent was sealed, and all space-time injections were stopped. No one could leave. The experts were full of resentment, and they all cursed the sky bamboo branch. They were too domineering, implicating them because they couldn't find the culprit. However, they didn't dare to say anything. The clan was in a fit of anger, and no one dared to say a word. In Green Mountain City, the cross-continent teleportation formation that was going to be activated was temporarily put on hold. Zhu Yao was also recuperating here, protected by a true immortal day and night. Who could be so savage as to kill a true immortal? Bai Yunxi was dumbfounded, and he muttered to himself, "The rich continent is really exciting. You can encounter anything. Even the powerful Zhu Yao was almost killed. It's a pity that I was knocked out and didn't witness the battle." Bai Yunxi was extremely regretful, and she even blamed Su Yan for not finding a way to wake her up. Su Yan said that she was knocked out by the shockwaves of the battle. This made Bai Yunxi very embarrassed, and she said in a low voice, "I heard that the sky bamboo branch is serious. They're preparing to seal the Green Mountain continent's domain. They won't release it until the culprit is found." Su Yan's expression sank. If this continued, they would be exposed sooner or later. If they were really forced, who knew what crazy things they would do next? After all, the death of a peak true immortal was no small matter. Now, Su Yan's clone, who was hibernating in a treasure land in the Green Mountain continent, also noticed the subtle changes in spacetime outside. "Young Demon King, is it? You little bastard, you relied on external objects to kill a true immortal of my clan. 100 deaths won't be enough to atone for your sins." An expert entrenched in the spacetime outside roared, "The Green Mountain continent has been sealed. Let's see where you can run to. When I catch you, I'll make you beg for death. You won't be able to die." Experts of the sky bamboo branch, in various large realms, all spoke ruthlessly, shaking the Green Mountain continent. Too tyrannical. Sealing a continent is no small matter. The Green Mountain continent isn't their sky bamboo branch's back garden. How can they do this? Many powers were indignant. The sky bamboo branch's methods were too tyrannical. Although the Green Mountain continent was under their jurisdiction, it wasn't their personal property. It wasn't their back garden. But the matter had blown up. A peak true immortal had died, and Zhu Xingwen had been heavily injured. This had infuriated the entire sky bamboo branch. This ancient lion was filled with world-burning fury, about to burn down the entire Green Mountain continent. Whoever can provide clues about the young demon king will be rewarded with 5,000 jin of immortal Tao stones. These words caused great waves. 5,000 jin of immortal Tao stones was an enormous reward. Even ordinary true immortals would find it difficult to take out such wealth. Was this comparable to the 10 most wanted criminals? Even Bai Yunxi, who was far away in Green Mountain City, was alarmed. Forget 5,000 jin of immortal Tao stones, she had only seen a few hundred jin of them in her life. But the sky bamboo branch was rich and overbearing, taking out a whole 5,000 jin of immortal Tao stones as a reward for Su Yan. "Young Demon King, just wait for your death. No one can save you." The Sky Bamboo Branch mobilized an army, locking down the various strongholds of the Green Mountain continent. The clansmen issued a death order. They had to dig 3 feet into the ground to find the young demon king. The reward of 5,000 gene of immortal Tao stones had already alarmed the local true immortals. They all left their mountain gates, searching the world for Su Yan's whereabouts. A reward for me? 5,000 gene? Even I want to sell myself. Su Yan was given a fright. He said angrily, "Since the matter has already blown up, we might as well blow it up even more. Let's see who can afford to wait. I bet you guys won't be able to find me." Su Yan used the damaged cauldron to suppress his incarnation, isolating all auras as he hid in an underground cave. Soon, his third incarnation appeared. Su Yan's third incarnation hid in the various large realms, probing the seals of the outer realms. He used his methods to find some flaws and loopholes. Su Yan activated the power of the terrain. His figure became one with the energy of the earth vein, and his entire body seemed to evaporate into thin air. If Su Yan wanted to leave, they could not stop him, unless a group of old ancestors came. Just like that, Su Yan successfully sneaked out and left the Green Mountain continent. Along the way, Su Yan's third incarnation did not stop. He headed to a nearby continent, the Green Cloud continent. The Green Cloud continent could not be considered a rich continent. However, it was also under the jurisdiction of the Sky Bamboo Branch. Su Yan crossed all the way and arrived at the Sky Bamboo Branch's resource-rich land. This was an ancient mining area. Experts of the Sky Bamboo Branch guarded it all year round. This ancient mining area is not simple. Su Yan was surprised. The ancient mining area occupied a large area. The aura was ancient and had a strong sense of time. Although it was a mining area that was about to be abandoned, this mining area automatically absorbed the energy of heaven and earth as if it had a life of its own. It intercepted the energy substances in the heavens and nurtured immortal treasures. Su Yan was moved. This mining area was not simple. To an immortal sect, this was also the most important strategic resource. Most importantly, it could nurture the immortal Tao stone. This was the most important thing. Who is it? This is the Sky Bamboo Branch's resource-rich mining area. The experts in the mining area looked gloomy as they looked at the figure descending from the sky. Su Yan did not hide his aura at all. He directly unleashed it. Divine light shattered the clouds and shone brilliantly. It was so dazzling that it hurt their eyes. "This mining area is mine. All of you, scram." Su Yan waved his hand impatiently. His words were like thunder, spreading far and wide. In the ancient mining area, divine light surged. The killing formation was also activated. There was a huge commotion. Then, a few powerful old men stepped out. They looked at Su Yan coldly and said angrily, "Junior, have you eaten the Emperor's guts? Get down here right now." Just as they were about to announce their identities and arrogantly tell Su Yan that they were the owner of the ancient mining area, a black figure suddenly appeared in front of them. Who would have thought that the entrenched black-robed youth's body would sweep over? He was extremely powerful, his life essence too domineering, like an eternally inextinguishable comet smashing over. Boom! In an instant, the world changed drastically. Energy appeared in the sky, evaporating and spreading. The aura of life overflowed. The entire ancient mining area was submerged. Golden chi and blood surged, even more turbulent than the ocean. "Who are you?" The strongest person in the ancient mining area was a half-step true immortal. His hair stood on end as he screamed in fear. Chi and blood flooded the entire ancient mining area. Not many people in the Sky Bamboo Branch could do this. Su Yan came with killing intent. He let out a furious roar. The entire ancient mining area shook from his roar, and many ore veins collapsed. A large number of cultivators screamed. Su Yan's roar made Su Yan bleed from their 7 orifices. The immortal's body collapsed and exploded into bloody light. This was a young devil king who had descended on the ancient mining area like a god of war patrolling the sky. The sky bamboo branch has angered the heavens. I am the heavens' emissary, and I have come to punish the sky bamboo branch. Su Yan's aura tore through the sky. His figure descended with a rumble, destroying the entire ancient mining area. Rocks filled the sky. Another chapter. Chapter 14:13. Energy surged wildly in the sky, sweeping through the world. The entire ancient mine was drowned in vast chi and blood. A figure stood in the middle, his divine might awe-inspiring, as if an eternal and indestructible human emperor had returned. When he erupted, the stench of blood filled the air. His battle prowess pierced through the heavens, and he was like a supreme devil king, his roar shaking the rivers and mountains. The entire ancient mine exploded. A powerful aura filled the air, shaking the heavens and earth. Who is it? What a savage aura! In the distant world, the experts trembled as they looked at the ancient mine of the sky bamboo lineage. Their scalps were about to explode. Who was so domineering as to destroy an ancient mine? This power was truly barbaric. My heart. That's the ancient mine of the sky bamboo lineage. Many people's hearts couldn't take it anymore. They cried out loudly, stirring up boundless waves. This scene was absolutely shocking. It was too sudden and ridiculous. The ancient mine was destroyed. Who exactly are you? The half-step true immortal guarding the ancient mine was furious. He was an old man with great power. He had been in charge of the ancient mine for hundreds of years, and there had never been a case of a powerful enemy attacking the ancient mine. However, this young man, who looked like a teenager, directly attacked in a domineering manner, and even said that he represented the heavens. This half-step true immortal was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. However, he also knew how powerful Su Yan was. He hurriedly retreated, wanting to escape. I'm the one who's going to kill you. Su Yan released a furious roar. It was indescribably terrifying. The fleeing half-step true immortal trembled. He suffered a terrifying pressure on his life force, and he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Who exactly are you? This half-step true immortal despaired. This child's vitality was like the sea, and his undying energy was exuberant beyond compare. Just like that, he crushed his way over. Even though he activated his immortal path, he was still suppressed by Su Yan's fist, and his body trembled. The blurry immortal path couldn't withstand Su Yan's supreme battle prowess at all. His offensive power was peerless. His aura swallowed 100,000 li, and his vicious aura surged. He raised his fist and smashed the immortal path apart. Bam! The terrifying fist force smashed into the half-step true immortal's body, fist after fist. The body of the half-step true immortal exploded, turning into a mass of bloody light, dyeing the shattered ancient mine red. Su Yan's long black hair draped over his shoulders. His expression was cold as he stood between heaven and earth, emitting an invincible aura. This aura was enough to suppress a person's soul, causing the starry sky to dim. A terrifying aura overflowed in all directions, causing the clouds in all directions to collapse. Su Yan is getting stronger and stronger. A strand of divine sense from the giant bamboo accompanied Su Yan. At this moment, he was shocked. The Grade 6 Life Essence Evolution Fluid had strengthened Su Yan's life force. In addition, the indestructible golden body had activated the Life Essence Evolution Fluid, causing Su Yan's life force to be exuberant. They drowned out the world. The people of this world trembled. It was too wild and valiant. The young demon lord took to the skies and looked down on everyone. The ancient mine was completely overturned, and not a single person was able to escape. What a pity! Following this, Su Yan dug out a dozen treasure vaults from the ruins of the ancient mine. There were large amounts of undying stone and even 50 kilograms of immortal Dao stone. He felt regret. After all, his incarnation couldn't always exist, and he didn't plan on returning. Thus, Su Yen threw out large amounts of undying stone from the treasure vaults, scattering them into the surrounding crowd. As for the immortal Tao stone, he left it behind. His incarnation also needed energy to replenish it. Snatch! The scene was chaotic. Snatching undying stone, a few experts from great powers were stunned. This was truly too ferocious. What kind of person was this? Throwing away so many undying stone just like that, he truly was rich and overbearing. Young Vicious left. Is he going to run? No, looking at his destination, he isn't running, but seems to have gone to Cloud Mountain City. The surrounding cultivators were all frightened. Cloud Mountain City was also Sky Bamboo's territory, and could be considered a flourishing ancient city in Clear Cloud Continent. Now that he had gone, could it be that this young Vicious was going to take action against Cloud Mountain City? Actually, for a large continent like Clear Cloud Continent, although it was under Sky Bamboo's jurisdiction, there were very few true immortals overseeing it. Usually, true immortals were rich continents. Of course, even if there were true immortals, they would still be searching for Su Yen in Clear Cloud Continent. Of course, even if he provoked a true immortal, Su Yen wouldn't be afraid. Su Yen ran rampant along the way and soon approached Cloud Mountain City. Cloud Mountain City was also very big. The city was bustling with people coming and going in an endless stream. For the great powers, the ancient city was completely forbidden to use force. After all, the cost of building an ancient city wasn't small, and no one wanted their ancient city to be destroyed. But now, the cultivators in the city were panicking. They sensed that there was an abnormally terrifying life force blooming outside the city. It was like a furnace of life that covered the entire Cloud Mountain City, causing the cultivators in the city to panic. Who are you? What business do you have in my Cloud Mountain City? Cloud Mountain City was in chaos. Two half-step true immortals rushed out of the city lord's residence and glared at a young demon king who came with malicious intent. I'm just here casually. It's not a big deal. Su Yen entrenched himself outside the city and said calmly, I'm just here to rob you. The moment he said that, there was an awkward silence. The entire Cloud Mountain City fell into a dead silence. The two half-step true immortals guarding Cloud Mountain City thought that they had heard wrongly. Robbery? Coming to Cloud Mountain City to rob? Didn't he know whose territory this was? Also, did this kid take the wrong medicine? Who are you? Who gave you the guts to speak such arrogant words in the territory of the Sky Bamboo lineage? A beautiful woman with a noble aura walked out of the city lord's residence. She was the descendant of an elder of the Sky Bamboo lineage. She glared at Su Yen and shouted, Robbery? You've really lost your mind. Men, suppress him and hang him at the city gate. Are all the women of the Sky Bamboo lineage so hot-tempered? But she's not bad-looking. Su Yen took large strides forward and raised his foot to kick forward. This action caused the cultivators in the city to be stunned. Immediately after, their scalps exploded. Crazy! They were all terrified and had goosebumps all over their bodies. This young demon king was too terrifying. In an instant, he was completely different. He raised his foot and kicked a half-step true immortal away, smashing the city lord's residence's gate. His entire body swooped down and his figure crossed the ground. He crushed the city gate and created a huge crack that penetrated the entire Cloud Mountain City. Countless people were shocked. The entire Cloud Mountain City was blood-red, as if the wrath of the heavens had descended. Covered the sky and covered the sun. Along with the aura of calamity, it scattered down endlessly and suppressed people's souls. It's you! This noble lady screamed as she trembled in fear. The young devil king that Zhu Yao had almost been beaten to death actually ran to the Clear Cloud Continent in such a ridiculous manner. He even started a massacre in Cloud Mountain City. Once he used his robbery secret technique, bloody light covered the sun. The fluctuation of the vast universe suppressed the entire city. He's really attacking Cloud Mountain City. Is he crazy? He actually dares to attack an immortal orthodoxy. A group of onlookers who rushed over felt their scalps go numb as they approached Cloud Mountain City. The large city was covered in bloody light and the aura was ancient and majestic. Thousands of calamity lights fell down and the entire city lord's residence collapsed. Who is it? How dare he? There were also true immortals in the city, but they didn't stand out to stop Su Yan. They didn't want to cause trouble. After all, someone who dared to attack an immortal orthodoxy must have a powerful background. Of course, if they knew about the bounty offered by the Sky Bamboo lineage, they would most likely kill their way out to deal with Su Yan. The city lord's residence was completely destroyed. Bloody light overflowed from within and heads flew everywhere. The cultivators in the city were terrified. A single person had swept through the entire city, and no one could match him. Even the city lord's residence's protective array was destroyed by Su Yan's violent methods. A group of protectors were like blood-stained scarecrows dancing in the sky. The scene was quite tragic. Su Yan had taken down the entire Cloud Mountain City and opened the city lord's residence's secret treasure vault. He was shocked and jealous. It would be a waste to ignore it. Therefore, Su Yan decided to seal this large amount of resources in Cloud Mountain City and wait for the future to come and take them away. Cloud Mountain City was in chaos. In just 2 hours, Su Yan retreated. Those who were still alive in the city lord's residence were terrified. The young Devil King had plundered the tributes from the vassal tribes and even kidnapped a noble lady. This was truly a heaven-defying act. The major territories of the Green Cloud continent were in chaos. The young Devil King had swept through the major resource mining areas and caused an even more shocking storm. This matter caused a huge uproar. Some people called the villain the High Heavens Young Man. The second stage of the Emperor Road is about to begin. Is a villain going to show off his peerless prowess? Isn't it a mistake to target the heavenly bamboo lineage? The entire continent was in chaos. The flames of war were burning in the major territories. The smell of blood permeated the air and pierced through the clouds. The entire continent was once again dominated by Su Yan. Even the true immortals who were eyeing Su Yan covetously did not dare to make a move against him. Big news. In 4 days, the Green Cloud continent was in chaos. The unparalleled villain who brutally beat Zhu Yao and killed a true immortal has made his move. He's called the High Heavens Young Man. He swept through the Green Cloud continent and destroyed more than a dozen ancient mining areas controlled by the Sky Bamboo. He even took down 3 cities and kidnapped a large number of beautiful ladies from the Sky Bamboo. Is this for real? This Devil King took down 3 cities? He even kidnapped several pearls from the Sky Bamboo? Is the news accurate? Has it been verified? This news was shocking. Countless people were discussing it. After all, what kind of force was the Sky Bamboo? They were the overlord of the immortal heavenly region and had been glorious since ancient times. Who would dare to target them? However, the High Heavens Young Man stepped forward and took down the entire Green Cloud continent. It was said that even a true immortal tried to capture him, but he escaped. Bastard! The group of people who had put up a bounty for Su Yan were so angry that they were about to go crazy. Their hair stood on end as they roared at the sky, "Young Devil King, you're courting death." They had set up an inescapable net in the Green Cloud continent and even paid a heavy price to seal off the continent. But that person had already left and started a massacre in the Azure Cloud continent, challenging the entire continent. This was a great humiliation. The people of the Sky Bamboo were so angry that their faces turned green. The situation was not under their control at all. Moreover, the young Devil King was obviously provoking them. They were not afraid at all. Otherwise, they would not have chosen to attack the Green Cloud continent. Although the Sky Bamboo did not care about these losses, the damage to their reputation was irreparable. A large number of true immortals from the Sky Bamboo have left for the Green Cloud continent. There aren't many true immortals left. Those bullies are finally gone. I estimate that in a few days, we will be able to leave the Green Mountain continent. Haha, they even sealed off the Green Cloud continent. This time, the Sky Bamboo's reputation will be greatly damaged. Some people shouted excitedly. No one dared to challenge the authority of an immortal sect since ancient times. Just thinking about it made their blood boil. Xia Kunlun, come out quickly. Zhu Yao wants to see us. On this day, Su Yan, who was sitting cross-legged in his room, opened his eyes and thought to himself, "Are we leaving? My third incarnation has exhausted its energy. If I don't leave now, I'll have to spend energy to create another incarnation. The resources hidden in the Green Cloud continent. Looks like I can only wait for the limelight to die down before taking them out." This batch of resources was naturally not considered a great fortune for the Sky Bamboo. However, to a cultivator, it was already considered a great fortune. Su Yan had hidden this batch of resources deep underground, using the terrain as a cover. He estimated that unless a true immortal searched every inch of it, the chances of being discovered were very slim. Su Yan pushed open the door and walked out, heading to Zhu Yao's secret recuperation room with Bai Yunxi. Chapter 14:14. The atmosphere in the Green Mountain City's City Lord Mansion was tense. The expressions of the experts who came and went were gloomy. Due to the matter of the young man from high heavens, the heavenly bamboo lineage had been in chaos. They had originally thought that they would be able to find Su Yan after setting up an inescapable net in the Green Mountain continent. But who would have thought that the youth had already left the Green Mountain continent and started a massacre in the Green Cloud continent? He swept through a dozen ancient mines and conquered 3 ancient cities. The matter was getting out of hand. Some of the immortal orthodoxies were shocked. What was the background of this young demon king? How could he be so unscrupulous? Did he have the qualifications to fight against the immortal orthodoxies? In short, the Sky Bamboo lineage had suffered a great loss of face. In the era of the Emperor Road, the undying heavenly domain was at the peak of its power. However, at this critical juncture, the Sky Bamboo lineage had suffered a great setback. It was said that their dormant old ancestor was furious. The City Lord Mansion had the highest standard secret chamber. It was full of immortal matter and was indestructible. Even a true immortal would find it difficult to break it in a short time. There were many great formations in the room. The most shocking one was the one that gathered immortal matter. Zhu Yao was in the center. Her injuries had healed and her face was full of dignity. She had regained her usual calmness. Su Yan couldn't help but think that Zhu Yao was quite a character. She could still keep her composure after such a big change in her life. "Greetings, Miss Zhu Yao." Su Yan and Bai Yunxi went up to greet her. Zhu Yao's eyes glowed like 2 burning divine lamps as she stared at Su Yan and Bai Yunxi. The two didn't hide anything. Bai Yunxi's strength was relatively weaker, but Su Yan's bodily functions were extremely vigorous. His life essence was strong and his meridians were like dragons. Not bad. The 2 true immortals guarding Zhu Yao nodded in satisfaction. With Xia Kunlun's potential, he could be ranked among the top in the Sky Bamboo lineage. With proper training, he would definitely become a character in the future. Recently, some people from the Sky Bamboo lineage had come to interrogate Su Yan. However, it was hard to say whether there was a big or small universe in the void. Su Yan had casually made it up, and it was hard for them to verify it. Su Yan was not worried that they would be able to see through him. The I-Chi transformed into 3 pure ones was exceptionally miraculous. It could change a person's essence, chi, and spirit. Even if they were true immortals of the great all-embracing heaven, the chances of them seeing through Su Yan were extremely slim. How could the most powerful divine ability in history be an ordinary divine ability? "The Bai family has followed my clan for many eras," Zhu Yao calmly said. "I know about the heavenly law your clan cultivates. My clan's treasury has an immortal Tao scripture similar to the Bai clan's inheritance. You can cultivate it when you return to the clan. Thank you, Miss Zhu Yao. Bai Zhoning was overjoyed. What she wanted the most was immortal Tao scriptures. If she had supreme scriptures to aid her cultivation, she would have a great chance of breaking through to the immortal Tao realm. Xia Kunlun, activate your scripture. Zhu Yao's gaze then fell on Su Yan. The latter did not hesitate and activated a scripture he had obtained in Xianhuang universe. It was neither too strong nor too weak. It was an immortal Tao scripture Su Yan had excavated from the chaos ruins in the past. Boom! Su Yan's aura surged violently. His body seemed to be ignited like a divine furnace. A huge Qiankuan cauldron appeared behind him and automatically devoured the immortal energy of the secret art to strengthen his body. Not bad. The two true immortals were extremely satisfied. This scripture is very good. Although it focuses on the body, it has its mysteries. You can choose not to change the scripture and focus on the path of body cultivation. Bai Yunxi pursed her lips, wanting to fight for something for Su Yan. However, the two true immortals were so imposing that she had no chance to speak. Although he specialized in the body and had great achievements in the future, the hope of the immortal path was somewhat dim. However, what Zhu Yao needed was a war general who could take charge of one side. She did not care about Su Yan's future cultivation space. Zhu Yao had great ambitions. The 10,000 races battlefield was the place where the progenitor had fallen. She alone was not enough. Now that she saw that Xia Kunlun was highly valued and groomed, it was possible that he could become her right-hand man. The place where Sky Bamboo's progenitor had fallen was Zhu Yao's greatest opportunity. Xia Kunlun, since you have joined my clan and followed me, I will naturally not treat you unfairly. Zhu Yao looked down at Su Yan and said, when we return to the clan, I will naturally fight for a certain amount of resources for you. When the 10,000 races battlefield opens, it will not be a problem for you to cultivate to the peak. Zhu Yao was very domineering. She did not ask for his and Bai Yunxi's opinion and directly asked them to follow her. Although there were some dangerous factors by the enemy's side, the giant bamboo said that Zhu Yao had great ambitions and could definitely fight for a lot of precious resources for Su Yan. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so Su Yan naturally would not refuse. Thank you, young miss. Xia Kunlun respectfully said. I wonder when we will return. I really want to see the immortal sex orthodoxy. Hearing this, Zhu Yao said with a cold expression, wait a little longer. The ancestor has already gone to thoroughly investigate the young Devil King. Once the heavenly secret stage is activated, we will be able to lock onto his location and see through his true appearance. For the next few days, they will stay in the city lord's mansion to cultivate. Su Yan and Bai Yunxi nodded and then slowly retreated. After the door to the secret chamber closed, the atmosphere became extremely cold. Zhu Yao's face was full of anger. How could she swallow such humiliation? If the young Devil King had not caused a series of events, then the entire world would be talking about her and not the Sky Bamboo lineage. Crackle! She clenched her fists and roared in her heart. When I find out, I will definitely grind his bones to dust. In fact, Zhu Yao's biggest heartache was the 6th grade evolutionary fluid. Although the clan was refining a new life essence evolution fluid, she definitely had her own share of it. 2 portions of the 6th grade evolutionary fluid would be of great help to her. Now that she had lost one, Zhu Yao was furious and couldn't calm down. She suddenly became very magnanimous and couldn't swallow this resentment. What is the heavenly secret stage? On the way back, Su Yan asked Bai Yunxi. Bai Yunxi whispered, I have heard of the heavenly secret stage. Rumor has it that it is the supreme treasure of the Sky Bamboo lineage. It is extremely terrifying. Once activated, it can calculate the major events of the world and even the fate of the clan. If the heavenly secret stage is activated, the young Devil King will most likely meet a calamity. Su Yan was shocked. For an immortal sect with a long history, their supreme treasure must be extremely terrifying. Once activated, if his location was exposed, then all of his previous efforts would be for naught. Su Yan hurriedly returned to his residence and sat down cross-legged to communicate with his second avatar. He told Zhu Zhu about the heavenly secret stage. Zhu Zhu's expression immediately changed as he said, "The heavenly secret stage, they actually want to activate the heavenly secret stage. Is this item very important?" Su Yan's expression darkened. "That is an item of the primogenitor." Zhu Zhu's expression was gloomy as he said, "Of course it is important, but this kind of thing doesn't require the heavenly secret stage. It seems like Zhu Lihui and Zhu Yao have secretly reached some kind of agreement. Otherwise, Zhu Lihui wouldn't have rashly activated the heavenly secret stage. I need to return as soon as possible." Su Yan didn't hesitate and his second avatar quickly returned to the city lord's residence. Currently, the seal on the Qingshan continent had been greatly reduced. With Su Yan's ability, he could pass through unimpeded. Although the heavenly secret stage was powerful, he was still able to suppress it. As long as his location wasn't exposed, even if the Sky Bamboo lineage knew who he was, they wouldn't be able to find him. Far away in the ancestral land of the Sky Bamboo lineage, if he wanted to activate the heavenly secret stage, it wasn't just Zhu Lihui who had the final say. Although Zhu Lihui was an ancestor, the heavenly secret stage was extremely important. Moreover, activating it required an astronomical amount of resources. We need to use the heavenly secret stage. The ancestral court of the Sky Bamboo lineage was so majestic that it could suffocate one's soul. Among them, there were some old antiques that were in deep slumber. Even with a little bit of their blood essence, the vast world dimmed and the sun and moon dimmed. Ancestor, the young demon king, is extremely important. We suspect that he has the battle prowess of one of the top 50 on the monarch board. We suspect that a flourishing immortal sect is probing our tribe. Zhu Lihui emphasized the severity of the matter. Only then could they activate the heavenly secret stage. Furthermore, Zhu Lihui's heart trembled as he said, "The dark matter of the Xianhuang universe has appeared and is being controlled by the young demon king. We must find out about his origin." Dark calamity. The slumbering elders in the ancestral court emitted terrifying life force. Vaguely, pairs of eyes opened and looked down at the universe. They were shocked. The fall of the primogenitor was related to the dark matter. Could it be that one of the immortal sects in the immortal heavenly domain had the means to control the dark matter? This matter was quickly approved and Zhu Lihui was put in charge of activating the heavenly secret stage. The heavenly secret stage was located in the forbidden land of the Sky Bamboo lineage. It was located at the peak of a majestic mountain that almost extended into the void. So this is the heavenly secret stage. Many experts came along, but it was their first time seeing the clan's greatest treasure. It was a snow-white mystical stone that was densely covered in innate runes. Its aura was majestic and ancient, and it was hard to tell how powerful it was. However, when Zhu Lihui activated the heavenly secret stage with a huge amount of immortal Dao stones, it changed completely. A unique radiance rose from it as if it could see through the past, present, and future. Furthermore, the heavenly secret stage was rotating. Every time it rotated, it would release a sound that sounded like the rumbling of the 6 paths of reincarnation. A majestic aura began to spread out. It was so majestic that it felt like the hand of the heavens. It carried the fluctuations of fate and suffocated them, rendering them immobile. 1. Zhu Lihui swung his sleeves. He extracted Su Yan's energy from Zhu Yao's body and sent it into the heavenly secret stage. The entire heavenly secret stage rotated violently. It looked extremely terrifying, as if it had crossed the river of time and was about to extend into a terrifying dimension. Zhu Lihui was stunned. The huge amount of immortal Dao stones had been used up. How much energy was needed to do this? Zhu Li Hui took out a large amount of immortal Dao stones again, but he realized that it was not enough. Hence, he could only gather a group of experts to release their energy to satisfy the heavenly secret stage's needs. Boom! Suddenly, the image projected by the heavenly secret stage changed. It was as if it had traveled through a particularly long time and space. Some images were projected, but there were fragments of time everywhere. What is that? Zhu Li Hui and the others were stunned. The image projected by the heavenly secret stage was too special. They saw a blurry figure appear on the heavenly secret stage. That figure seemed to have been sleeping in the chaos for billions of years. They could not see anything clearly. Is the heavenly secret stage unable to reflect it? Zhu Li Hui felt a headache coming on. He gathered a group of experts to push the heavenly secret stage again, trying to push it to the limit. The heavenly secret stage became even more brilliant and released a terrifying probing ability. After all, this was the item of Sky Bamboo's ancestor. It was extremely powerful. The entire heavenly secret stage shone, and the image projected gradually became clearer. The experts of Sky Bamboo were in disbelief. What were they seeing? One after another, supreme terrains, including undying materials, appeared on the heavenly secret stage. Zhu Li Hui was trembling. He pointed at the terrains and almost roared. Even their clan had never controlled such a place of fortune. It was too terrifying and ridiculous. Zhu Li Hui recognized one of them, the Golden Immortal Cave. Their clan had the Golden Immortal Cave. As the name suggested, it was a cave abode for cultivating Zenith Heaven Golden Immortals. However, the Golden Immortal Cave was the strongest place of fortune created by exhausting countless heavenly materials and earthly treasures. The amount of resources needed every year was unimaginable. Now, the Golden Immortal Cave appeared in the terrains projected by the heavenly secret stage. It was not created by humans. It was a supreme terrain formed naturally. The Golden Immortal Cave. The terrains were terrifying beyond compare. It could cultivate Zenith Heaven Golden Immortals. What kind of area was this? Why would the Supreme Demon King of Illumination manifest these terrains? It was not just the Golden Immortal Cave. There were other terrains too. They could not name them, but they were definitely not inferior to the Golden Immortal Cave. Could this be the young Demon Lord's orthodoxy? However, in the entire Immortal Sect orthodoxy, who could control so many supreme places of fortune? Zhu Li Hui's heart trembled. Where did he come from? What kind of enemy did his clan provoke? He even realized that in the center of the terrains there were vague 33 levels of heaven. What kind of terrains were these? He had never heard of them. The terrains of the Golden Immortal Cave were only arranged in the surroundings. And that person was sleeping at the peak of the 33 levels of heaven. Chapter 14-15. Zhu Li Hui was a true immortal of the great firmament and was used to great storms. He had seen all kinds of scenes and experienced all kinds of dangers. His lifespan was already 1,000,000 years. But now Zhu Li Hui was alarmed. He wanted to immediately cut off the heavenly secret stage and not investigate any further. He even wanted to summon the people who had captured the peerless villain and have them return to their families immediately. He wanted this matter to end here and not pursue it further. At this moment, Zhu Li Hui had a ridiculous thought. Perhaps the young Devil King was telling the truth when he said that he was punishing the Sky Bamboo lineage on behalf of the heavens. It was not an identity that was fabricated out of thin air. In short, the scene displayed by the heavenly secret stage gave Zhu Li Hui a huge shock. He was extremely terrified and his breathing became heavy. Even the other experts of the Sky Bamboo lineage were dumbfounded. The blurry scene of the supreme topography and the undying substance were steaming like a vast ocean. Was this the legendary Pure Land of Legends? Even the young man they wanted to dig out seemed to be sleeping in the central region and was being nourished by the supreme 33 heavens. Boom! Suddenly, strands of terrifying fluctuations spread out. The pressure that originated from prehistoric times was like a thick ancient history that crushed down with a rumble. A large number of experts trembled and coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. Their eyes turned black as they could not withstand the prehistoric aura seeping out from the heavenly secret stage. Their bodies were about to explode. This was a supreme prehistoric aura crushing down. It was as heavy as ancient history. Who could resist it? Not good. Zhu Lihui cried out in alarm. He found that the heavenly secret stage was shaking and about to collapse and self-destruct. This was the primogenitor's item, the supreme treasure of the sky bamboo lineage. It had been passed down since ancient times and was incomparably precious. But now the heavenly secret stage was about to explode. It could not withstand the pressure of the scene. In an instant, a cold pupil opened in the ancestral court. It looked down on all life in the universe. It was peerlessly powerful. The heavens and great worlds were destroyed in the eyes. The vast universe revolved and emitted a small amount of aura as if the heavens were collapsing. These characters were too terrifying. Their bodies were hidden in the ancestral court and were slowly recovering. This caused the entire sky bamboo lineage to tremble. Countless clansmen knelt down in worship and shouted "Ancestor." The ancestral court was the cultivation ground of the legendary experts of the immortal orthodoxies. It seemed to exist in another time and space. An ancient hand reached out and rushed towards the heavenly secret stage. The heavenly secret stage that was on the verge of exploding was stabilized. Then, the huge hand fell down. The supreme laws were like a supreme emperor. Billions of rays of blood and chi rose, shaking the heaven and earth. Supreme Ancestor. The group of true immortals were pleasantly surprised. They were protected, otherwise the energy ripples from the heavenly secret stage would really crush them to death. The ancient hand stopped the heavenly mystery stage and unleashed a supreme law of order to stabilize the trembling heavenly mystery stage. The secrets of heaven cannot be revealed. The ancient voice cut through the sky. It sounded very calm, but it was like millions of claps of thunder exploding in Zhu Lihui and the others' ears. Zhu Lihui's face turned pale. What was the background of this young devil king? The heavenly secret stage was not qualified to investigate his background. He found it hard to believe that this young devil king was a calamity that the immortal orthodoxies did not want to provoke. Boom! Suddenly, the heavenly secret stage rotated again. Wisps of terrifying prehistoric aura drifted with the wind and dissipated completely. The heavenly secret stage skipped this period of investigation. However, when the heavenly secret stage rotated again, it reflected the killing intent left behind by Su Yan on the heavenly secret stage. A blurry figure appeared and was gradually becoming clearer. However, the heavenly secret stage could not reflect his exact image. I can't see through him. Why can't I see through him? The group of true immortals felt a headache coming. Could the heavenly secret stage not even see through his original appearance? How powerful was this person's background? Grand Ancestor, can you check his location? Zhu Lihui was still hopeful and wanted to know more. I can't see through him. He has an ultimate treasure protecting him. The heavenly secret stage rotated again, but it was blurry. They could not see through it. This was the remnant cauldron protecting Su Yan, isolating him from detection. This young man is not simple. He has a great connection with the Emperor Road's ultimate land. The words of the Supreme Grand Ancestor, who was sleeping in the ancestral court, were as clear as a bell. This terrified Zhu Lihui. Was it related to the ultimate land? One should know that 1,000,000 years ago, a bloody battle broke out in the ultimate land. Rumor had it that the ultimate land was destroyed. From then on, there was only one sentence left in the world: there was no emperor under the heavens. The impact of that incident was too great. Even after 1,000,000 years, the old antiques of the major immortal sects still had a change of expression when they talked about it. This was because all the participants should have fallen, and this also caused the Xian Huang celestial region to change. This dusty past was listed as a taboo event, and the major immortal sects did not dare to investigate it. However, now they found a clue. A person had a great connection with the ultimate land. This surprised and delighted Zhu Lihui. Was this a good thing or a bad thing for the tribes? Could this person be related to the celestial court? The grand ancestor of the ancestral court murmured, causing Zhu Lihui to tremble subconsciously. After all, the celestial emperor of the celestial court was plotting something in the ultimate battle, which triggered a series of world-ending battles. This person might really be related to the celestial court. Celestial court, Xianhuang universe? Zhu Yao? Dark matter. Could it be? Zhu Lihui's breathing suddenly became heavy. When these clues were put together, he thought of a person. This person was the strongest person of the younger generation of the Xianhuang universe who had fallen. In the entire Xianhuang universe, only Su Yan had such combat strength. Back then, Zhu Lihui had witnessed the battle on the Emperor Road's battle platform. The young overlord of the Xian people, one of the 10 prodigies, Xian Hongda, was killed by Su Yan. However, what happened after that was relatively ridiculous. The powerful Xian Huiyu was killed by Su Yan. Even the grand ancestor of the Xian people, Xian Tairan, had his external incarnation destroyed and was severely injured. However, whether it was Su Yan or the extreme Dao immortal metal, they were all buried in the world where the devil mist erupted. This can't be right? Zhu Lihui's expression was unnatural. The change in the Green Mountain continent was all because of Zhu Yao. There was definitely a blood feud between them. He knew very well that the poor woman, Bamboo Moon, and Su Yan's relationship was not to be taken lightly. If this person was really the fallen Su Yan, then some things could be explained. It shouldn't be. Su Yan isn't that strong. Zhu Lihui shook his head. This did not make sense. He admitted that Su Yan was strong, but Su Yan could not have seriously injured Zhu Yao in such a short time. Moreover, he had stirred up chaos in the Green Mountain continent and the Green Cloud continent recently. Could Su Yan alone do it? Far away in Green Mountain City, Su Yan was sitting cross-legged in his room. His eyes suddenly opened. This mysterious heavenly stage is really something. Su Yan's heart palpitated. The broken cauldron shook many times, resisting the mysterious deduction power. The small world he was sitting in remained the same. No one could see through it. Su Yan's breathing was heavy. After all, this was the undying heavenly domain, and the one deducing him was an immortal sect. Would they see something? Of course, Su Yan did not care if his identity was exposed. What he cared about was that the Sky Bamboo lineage could see through more. This was a problem. In the following days, Su Yan did not leave his room. However, there were no secrets in the city lord's mansion. Everything was covered by his divine will. 3 days later, important news came. I heard that the family has given a death order to capture the young Devil King. I heard that several ancestors of the family have gone to other continents and are preparing to seal off the surrounding continents. There's such a thing? What's the background of this young Devil King? Why would the family spend so much effort on him? Many people were shocked. This time, the Sky Bamboo lineage was serious. The ancestors were personally controlling the teleportation formation that could cross continents, and strictly investigating cultivators of unknown origins. Although this was like looking for a needle in a haystack, since the clan had done so, it caused a huge commotion. In an instant, this vast domain was stirred up. The young Devil King's background is most likely not simple. He has angered this ancient lion. Some immortal sects were shocked. The bigger the commotion caused by the Sky Bamboo lineage, the more shocking the impact would be. Although the undying heavenly domain was vast, the young Devil King's name was gradually becoming more and more ferocious. Overnight, important news came. Big news. The Sky Bamboo lineage is offering 10,000 gene of immortal Dao stones for the young Devil King's whereabouts. This shocking change caused countless people to discuss it. Incredible! Is he going to become one of the 10 most wanted criminals in the undying heavenly domain? A few years ago, the immortal race put out a bounty for a group of people. The amount of immortal Dao stones they offered was less than 5,000 kilograms, and it already attracted the attention of many terrifying leaders. Now that the Sky Bamboo faction has offered such a huge price, there will definitely be old experts who will go crazy. There were dozens of continents. Although the territory was vast, the allure of a huge sum of money would definitely attract some powerful people to search for Su Yan's whereabouts. The outside world was becoming more and more chaotic. Su Yan was secretly glad that he had the broken cauldron to protect him, but he was also a little scared. Although the Sky Bamboo lineage had offered a bounty for him, they were too quiet. This made Su Yan feel uneasy. You're in the dark, and they're in the light. It won't be easy to find you. Su Yan gradually calmed down. He sat cross-legged in his room and said, "It's dark under the light. If I go to the Sky Bamboo lineage, they won't even think that I'm in their ancestral land. Luckily, I went to the Bai family before, so I have an identity." He thought about it carefully. There were no loopholes in his identity. Relatively speaking, it was flawless. On this day, a follower came to inform Su Yan that it was time to leave. "I'm leaving." Su Yan smiled brightly. He could finally leave. Zhu Zhu was also looking forward to it. He retracted all his spiritual fluctuations and left behind a message. "Su Yan, wake me up when you reach the Sky Bamboo lineage." Su Yan was looking forward to it. Zhu Zhu was the disciple of the Sky Bamboo progenitor. With Zhu Zhu's identity, he might be able to open up some land of fortune and obtain some rare treasures. In short, Su Yan had a feeling that this trip would most likely be a fruitful one. What comes next will definitely be more exciting. A new environment, here I come. Su Yan met up with Bai Yunxi and headed towards a spacetime array. They were going to use it to return to their tribe. Su Yan even learned that the surrounding dozens of continents would be under the supervision of the Sky Bamboo lineage for a period of time. They would not allow any cross-continent array to be activated. One had to admit that the ancient lion of the Sky Bamboo lineage was truly shocking. Of course, their tribe had paid a great price. After all, the rulers of many continents were immortal sections. Naturally, they had to pay a certain price. Chapter 14:16. In the depths of the City Lord's mansion, a giant formation platform stood tall. It was silver-white in color and looked like a silver mountain. It was engraved with millions of immortal Dao laws. The giant silver formation platform emanated a vast space-time ripple that had a far-reaching influence. The value of this kind of space-time array was extremely high. Even immortal orthodoxies would find it difficult to construct a space-time array that could span across continents, especially one that could span across dozens of continents. It was simply too ridiculous. Generally speaking, only rich continents had formations that could cross dozens of continents. Immortal sects would have to pay a huge price to build such a thing. They would even need expensive maintenance fees. "Xia Kunlun, Bai Yunxi, come here." Zhu Yuanli waved his hand from afar. Many experts had gathered nearby. Su Yan looked around and found many young people with powerful auras. They were all at the peak of the immortal realm. There were about 100 of them. Most of them were talented young experts that Zhu Yuanli and the others had recruited. They were going to bring them back to their clans and train them in preparation for the myriad tribe battlefield. "Look, Zhu Yao is here." The arrival of a woman broke the silence here, causing quite a commotion. Many cultivators looked at her with strange gazes. After all, the changes in Qingshan City had happened. After all, Green Mountain's incident had affected Zhu Yao too much. Zhu Yao's expression was cold and indifferent. Her pair of majestic eyes made the crowd shudder out of fear. Zhu Yao was the strongest female expert in Sky Bamboo. There were only a handful of young people in the clan who could be compared to her. Although she had a stain on her record, who would dare to talk about her openly? Zhu Yao has been staying at home all this time. Now she has no choice but to come out. Zhu Gaoga also came. He had his hands behind his back and looked majestic. He was accompanied by a few young men with powerful auras. He sneered in his heart, this proud phoenix must not be as arrogant as before after such a setback. Let's see if she can still be arrogant in front of me in the future. The strongest person in Sky Bamboo was definitely Zhu Yanghua. The remaining experts of the younger generation were also secretly fighting against each other. All of them were after the top resources of their respective clans. Zhu Yao was the strongest female expert. Her treatment was second only to Zhu Yanghua. Therefore, many disciples saw her as a thorn in their side. Although Zhu Gaoga was Zhu Lihui's only descendant, his talent was not as good as Zhu Yao's. Naturally, his treatment was different. Zhu Gaoga didn't know about the secret agreement between Zhu Lihui and Zhu Yao. The fewer people who knew about it, the better. Look at Zhu Yao. She only has 2 battle generals by her side. In the past, she would probably have more than 10. Some people couldn't help but laugh. They knew very well that Zhu Yao already had more than 10 generals by her side, and they were all experts among experts. If it weren't for the incident in Qingshan City, the number of generals by Zhu Yao's side might have increased to more than 20. But now they only saw by Yunxi and Xia Kunlun. Alas! Zhu Yuanli sighed slightly. Originally, he had traveled to the various continents to recruit geniuses for his family. In the end, many of the vassal clans learned of Zhu Yao's misfortune and chose other young experts of the Sky Bamboo branch. If she did not have a strong young battle general following her, Zhu Yao would be at a disadvantage in the future of the myriad races battlefield. You people are mocking me? I'll show you in the future. I may have lost my 6th grade evolution and suffered a setback, but in the future, I, Zhu Yao, will definitely be able to replace the bamboo sunglow. Zhu Yao's eyes were overflowing with anger. The Sky Bamboo Dharma seed was not lost at all. Just in case, she had given it to the elders of her family for safekeeping. She believed that once the Deyuan Golden Pill was refined and she merged with the Sky Bamboo Dharma seed, her combat power would definitely skyrocket. She would enter an extremely shocking realm and should be able to replace the bamboo sunglow. Bamboo Moon, if I succeed, I will send your bones to the ancestral shrine and enjoy the supreme glory. Zhu Yao couldn't help but think of the old woman in the Xianhuang universe. She was pitiful, but if she really succeeded, she would not forget Bamboo Moon. She guessed that the Bamboo Moon by now was probably a skeleton. As for the ancestral shrine of her family, it was not a place that ordinary people could enter. Only existences like the Grand Elders could enjoy the incense and worship of the immortal orthodoxies in the ancestral shrine. Boom! At this moment, the space-time formation shone with ancient space-time fluctuations. The formation shone brightly as the 2 immortals opened a space-time gate. It's time to go. Su Yen and the others rushed into the space-time formation. As the formation exploded, space-time fluctuations surged like an ocean, enveloping all the cultivators and starting to travel through space-time. In an instant, the auras of the cultivators in the space-time formation weakened. Those with weaker primordial spirits were in a daze, unable to wake up. Su Yen was shocked. How far had they traveled? He felt as if his lifespan was slipping away quickly. Although the immortal Tao order was isolating him, he was still affected to a certain extent. It feels like we've crossed at least a dozen continents. How far is that? Who knows how long it would take for a cultivator to cross a dozen continents? It's said that there are tens of thousands of continents in the undying sky domain. I'm afraid that even a true immortal of the great all-embracing heaven would find it difficult to cross all the continents. Su Yen smacked his lips in shock. The value of the space-time formation was 80% beyond his expectations. Suddenly, he felt a gaze on him. Su Yen noticed that Zhu Yao was looking at him. This made his heart skip a beat. Only then did he notice that Bai Yunxi had not woken up. These people were in a daze. Only a few of them were barely conscious. Su Yen was one of them. Su Yen did not think much of it. Only by displaying his strength could he fight for more things. Zhu Yao only paid attention to Su Yen. She did not pay too much attention to him. She had seen the peerless geniuses from the big and small universes in the void. Some of them were indeed very special and very strong. As for how strong Xia Kunlun was, she would soon find out. Zhu Yao was not in a hurry. The space-time formation continued to travel. They jumped through space-time several times and crossed more than a dozen continents. Su Yen estimated that they had crossed more than 100 continents. How far had they crossed? How many immortal Tao stones had they used? At this moment, Su Yen and the others rushed into a world where the light was slightly dim. It was as if they had rushed into a space-time wormhole? Su Yen was surprised. Then, he was shocked. Unbelievable! He muttered in his heart. He felt that he had come to another world. A world completely different from the one before. The sky was filled with undying matter that surged like a tide, nurturing a vast and majestic world. This didn't seem like a great continent at all, but rather like a condensed world of the heaven domain, where the supreme immortal Tao might existed. In an instant they had an illusion. It was as if they had come to the legendary land of immortals. Even the legacy disciples of the major factions of the race were dumbfounded. Was this the core region of the undying heaven domain? It was rumored that the core region had 3,000 continents. Each continent had its own immortal sect. It was said that there were 3,000 immortal sects at the peak of their power. This was very frightening. The undying heaven domain was too vast. It was difficult to measure. Although the Green Mountain continent was a rich continent, how could it compare to the core region? Just the energy matter in the air was several times more than the rich continent. As they traveled, space-time was constantly distorted. They had crossed too far. It was hard to imagine how majestic this continent was. Some people said that the area of 10 Green Mountain continents added together was only as big as the Heavenly Bamboo continent. This is the Heavenly Bamboo continent, Su Yen said in secret. This was the continent of the Heavenly Bamboo lineage. It was vast and boundless. The undying immortal essence was abundant. The universe and the starry sky were also very thick. It was very difficult to shake. Soon, they arrived at a city. This city was too outrageous. It was too majestic. The sun, moon, and stars were like dust drifting in the sky above the city. The majestic heavenly bamboo city encompassed heaven and earth. It was like a universe. There were seas of stars flowing around the walls. Bai Yunxi was dumbfounded by the visual impact. This was a city? It was like a boundless universe. It was too extraordinary. What is this? Many people were astonished. They saw a giant stone tablet towering at the city gate. It reached the peak of the heavens. On the stone tablet there were densely packed names. The names at the top were all blazing like blazing suns. It was so dazzling that it hurt people's eyes. This is the Heavenly Bamboo Tablet, an elder said in a deep voice. The experts who have just joined our clan have to withstand the test of the Heavenly Bamboo Tablet. You will be able to sense it when you get close to the Heavenly Bamboo Tablet. If you can leave your name on the Heavenly Bamboo Tablet, you will be heavily nurtured. This is an opportunity for you. You must grasp it. So this is the Heavenly Bamboo Tablet. Many people were excited. Zhuyanghua. Su Yen saw a very blazing name. It was almost at the top of the list. It is said that the names at the top of the Heavenly Bamboo Tablet are the strongest heroes of the Heavenly Bamboo lineage over the years, Bai Yunxi explained to Su Yen. The reason why the clan's Zhuyanghua was at the top was because his potential was too shocking. He was about to become the strongest hero. Su Yen also noticed Zhu Yao's name. She was about the 300th place. This was already very impressive. After all, the heavenly bamboo lineage had been passed down for millions of years. Outstanding heroes emerged from every generation. It was very impressive to be able to enter the 300th place. Most of the names on the heavenly bamboo tablet were experts of the clan, but there were also outsiders. Xia Kunlun, use all your strength to erupt. Zhu Yao transmitted his voice using his origin power. In this battle, our clan has recruited geniuses from other clans. Feng Rong is the strongest and has entered the top 1,000. Our clan values him greatly and has bestowed him with many places of fortune. Especially during this special period, the immortal path stones he receives every month are as high as 50 kilograms. This was a number that would make one's eyes go red. Did they really think that immortal path stones were so easy to obtain? Generally speaking, some young experts with potential could enter the top 100,000. However, the immortal path stones they received every month were only 10 kilograms. The difference was too great. The current Feng Rong was an influential figure in the heavenly bamboo lineage. He followed Zhu Yanghua. "Let me go first." A silver-robed man walked out from beside Zhu Gaoga. His face was like jade, and he was full of confidence as he charged toward the heavenly bamboo tablet. "It's Feng De, Feng Rong's younger brother," some people exclaimed. The Feng family was a vassal clan of the heavenly bamboo lineage. They were one of the top clans. Feng Rong's rise had caused the Feng family to rise as well. It was said that the heavenly bamboo lineage had exempted the Feng family from paying tribute for 100 years in order to rope Feng Rong in. Feng Rong is so strong. Feng De must not be weak either. That's right. They are siblings from the same mother. Their bloodlines must be shocking. Feng Rong swept through a rich continent and was nominated on the emperor rankings. Although Feng De is slightly weaker, he is definitely not inferior by much. The surrounding people discussed animatedly as they watched Feng De charge toward the heavenly bamboo tablet. Boom! The heavenly bamboo tablet revived on its own. It scattered a ray of light that illuminated Feng De's primordial spirit, body, and great Tao. It drew out his strongest potential. Chapter 14-17. Feng De's body glowed with divine light. After all, he was Feng Rong's younger brother and had been groomed by the clan. He had achieved great things in every field, surpassing his peers. Soon, a beam of light shot out from his physique and penetrated the sky bamboo steel. The names on the sky bamboo steel were rearranged at a speed visible to the naked eye. The elders were overjoyed to see a brand new name at the 13,000th rank. The entire place was in an uproar. The 13,000th rank was already impressive, surpassing many disciples of the sky bamboo lineage. Su Yan was shocked, but not because of Feng De's strength. The sky bamboo steel only affected one immortal orthodoxy, but there were more than 100,000 names in the immortal orthodoxy. What kind of concept was that? It was hard to imagine how prosperous the immortal heavenly domain was. Only 13,000th rank? However, Feng De was dissatisfied and frowned. His brother and brother were ranked in the top 1,000, but the gap between them was too big. Zhu Gaogu laughed at his dissatisfaction. "Feng De, don't be greedy." Actually, Feng Rong was not ranked in the top 1,000 in the first test, but in the 3,800th rank. However, after being groomed by my clan, his rank has soared to the top 1,000. As for you, you're ranked in the top 10,000. There's a lot of room for improvement. I can guarantee that you'll reach the top 9,000th rank within a year. Zhu Gaogu was confident. Feng Rong was now his right-hand man, so he would naturally nurture him well. Then, I'm relieved. Feng De was overjoyed. Being ranked in the top 10,000 was a great achievement. The resources and treatment he received would be greatly improved, and he would be heavily groomed by the sky bamboo lineage. Next, more and more people went to take the test. After all, this batch of cultivators were the geniuses selected by the emperor ranking. Therefore, almost everyone had a ranking, but they were all ranked in the top 80,000th. Feng Rong was very proud, but Zhu Gaogu lowered his voice. Feng De, some of the experts in this batch were sent to the clan in advance. You're not the first, so don't talk nonsense in the clan to avoid offending others. I understand. Feng De nodded. Although his brother was extraordinary, the waters in the Sky Bamboo lineage were too deep. He did not want to get into trouble. Although some special people were brought to the clan in advance for grooming, Feng Rong was relatively proud and looked down on the others. Sigh. Bai Yunxi sighed. She had finished the test and was ranked around 50,000. One had to know that when Bai Yunxi left home this time, the family had given her a large number of resources. These days, Bai Yunxi's progress was lightning fast. However, she did not expect the gap between her and Feng Rong to be so shocking. She was somewhat shocked. It's my turn. I think I'm the last one. At this moment it was Su Yan's turn. He walked forward directly. Apparently, a rogue cultivator has triggered the monarch ranking. A few people discussed among themselves. They more or less had some understanding of their fellow cultivators, and some of them knew about Xia Kunlun's inner workings. Rogue cultivator? Feng De snorted disdainfully. A rogue cultivator can actually walk with us? How laughable! I think that he doesn't even have the qualifications to be nominated for the heavenly bamboo steel. Boom. However, at the moment when the light from the bamboo steel shone on Su Yan's body, in the blink of an eye, he was completely different. His blood and qi surged like the release of a deep sea. It was difficult to see just how exuberant his blood essence energy was. The surrounding people paled. Was this a rogue cultivator? What kind of joke was this? The blood and qi in Xia Kunlun's body was too exuberant. It was like the furnace of life was burning. It was resplendent and blazing, illuminating the mountains and rivers brilliantly. Xia Kunlun was like a golden deity. The blood and qi he released pierced through the heavens. As the boundless blood and qi surged, the surrounding space-time rumbled. It formed clouds that hung from the sky and drowned this space-time. Heavens, what rich blood and qi! This child's physical body is astonishing. The group of elders was stunned. Their eyes burned as if they had seen a treasure. No wonder he wasn't affected by the space-time crossing formation. His vitality is so strong. Zhu Yao was also moved. He was stronger than she had expected. Immediately after, the bamboo steel shone on Su Yan's primordial spirit and undying substance. However, his primordial spirit was relatively weak, and his undying substance was limited. The elders were shocked. His primordial spirit was too weak, and his undying substance was also limited. Zhu Yuanli's face was full of pain. He said, "It's a pity that such a good seedling delayed his cultivation. After all, the great and small universes in the void are lacking in resources. If he had come to our clan a few decades earlier, he would have been the next Feng Rong. Yes, it's such a pity. However, it's also amazing if he's nurtured. His physical body is astonishing, and he's suitable for cultivating powerful physical remarkable powers." The group of elders discussed animatedly. Some were optimistic about Xia Kunlun. If he cultivated in seclusion for a few decades, he would be a good seedling in the future. Su Yan stood under the bamboo steel and became calmer. He had used the incomplete cauldron to suppress his primordial spirit and undying substance. He had even suppressed part of his physical body's foundation. He had indeed muddled his way through. If he hadn't suppressed it, the commotion he had caused would have been too shocking. He would have definitely been interrogated by the bamboo lineage about his origins, and he might have given himself away. Of course, Su Yan had revealed his physical body state because he wanted to ask for more resources to quickly strengthen himself. 18,000. Many elders were shocked. His primordial spirit and undying substance were so weak, yet he was still able to obtain such a high ranking. It was truly amazing. Feng De's expression was somewhat unsightly. A wild cultivator had almost suppressed his limelight. He even realized that many of the elders valued Xia Kunlun more than himself. Bai Yunxi, Xia Kunlun, do you want to come to my place? At this moment, Zhu Gaoga's shocking words broke the silence here. Many people were shocked. This was blatant robbery. With Xia Kunlun's potential, as long as they said a word, it would be relatively easy to obtain resources. He would certainly become a fierce general after some nurturing. Zhu Yao's eyes widened as she shouted coldly, Zhu Gaoga, you've become quite bold. You dare fight over my people? Your people? Zhu Gaoga sneered. Not necessarily, right? They haven't officially entered the bamboo lineage. It's too early to make a conclusion. If not for ancestor Zhu Lihui's face, do you think you can still stand here and talk to me? Zhu Yao was furious. Her terrifying aura was still pervading the air. Without a doubt, Zhu Yao's battle strength was the strongest here. You. Zhu Gaoga's expression was gloomy and ashen. He then said coldly, the family is about to finish refining a furnace of evolution fluid. I'm afraid you two won't get anything good by following Zhu Yao. Xia Kunlun, with your potential, following Zhu Yao is truly a waste. Evolution fluid? The scene was in chaos. Feng De's eyes were so red that they were about to turn purple. How could he not know what the life essence evolution fluid was? He was very clear that Feng Rong's current ranking was mainly because Zhu Songhua had helped him obtain a 5th-grade evolution fluid. Su Yan was also excited. The effects of the 6th-grade evolution fluid were still unforgettable. If he could obtain another portion, he would definitely be able to continue strengthening his life essence. This was a substance that couldn't be obtained even if one begged for it. He had inquired about the evolution fluid in Qingshan City before, but unfortunately, it wasn't for sale. Not to mention the 6th grade, even the lowest grade couldn't be bought. Zhu Gaoga. A certain true immortal glared at him with a gloomy expression. Zhu Gaoga's heart skipped a beat. The evolution fluid was of great importance and was not allowed to be leaked. He had only revealed it in a moment of desperation. Although several true immortals were extremely dissatisfied with Zhu Gaoga, they didn't say much. After all, he was Zhu Lihui's only son. It was said that Zhu Lihui had once explored a peerless place of fortune and found an extremely terrifying treasure, which he then gave to Zhu Gaoga. It was said that this item would be able to recover its terrifying power when Zhu Gaoga stepped into the true immortal realm. It would also give Zhu Gaoga peerless combat power and make him one of the leading figures of the Sky Bamboo lineage. One should never underestimate a true immortal of the grand all-embracing heaven. The treasure in his eyes was definitely not ordinary. Zhu Gaoga, back in the days when we were in the Bai family, you made things difficult for our family in every possible way. What are you trying to do now? Bai Yunxi said with a gloomy expression. Even if he were to side with someone, he wouldn't side with Zhu Gaoga. Ignore him. He's just a bully. Su Yan was like a hothead, shouting along. This scene made Zhu Yao's expression soften slightly. She mocked. You're just an immortal who relied on external things to mature your body? You want to recruit 2 immortals who relied on themselves to break through? Bastard. Zhu Gaoga was furious. This had always been his fig leaf, but no one dared to mention it. After all, he was Zhu Lihui's only descendant. Naturally, Zhu Lihui would crazily throw all kinds of resources at him. The immortal herb essences he found were extraordinary. He even obtained the 6th-grade life essence evolution fluid and a series of other treasures. To put it bluntly, Zhu Gaoga was also a tyrannical rich 2nd generation. His combat power wasn't weak either. You two, very good, Zhu Gaoga said fiercely. The life essence evolution fluid does give many outer sect spots, but you two are not qualified to fight for it. Let's wait and see. Zhu Yao's expression was ugly. Her generals had all obtained the 5th-grade life essence evolution fluid. In the past, no one dared to target her subordinate. However, the situation was different now. If Zhu Gaoga really did something in secret, she would be the one to lose face. Looks like I have to think of a way to quickly increase their strength. Zhu Yao thought to herself. She knew the cruelty of the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Even if she found the place where the ancestor fell, it was still a big problem whether she could suppress Zhu Songhua. Xia Kunlun was her powerful external aid. Therefore, she would do everything she could to increase their strength. Of course, it was not just Zhu Yao. Zhu Gaoga and the others also had the same idea. They all wanted to occupy the rare resources in the 10,000 tribe battlefield. One should know that the 10,000 tribe battlefield in Emperor Road was also the place where the true immortals rose. A wild cultivator dares to go against you, big brother? Feng De said eerily. Don't worry, big brother. If the day comes to fight for the spots, I'll cripple him. Let's see how arrogant he can be. Then I'll wait and see. Let's go. Zhu Gaoga snorted and waved his hand. He led them into the city. This city was Sky Bamboo City. It was also the ancestral land of the Sky Bamboo clan. The huge city was the habitat of the Sky Bamboo clan. After a long time of development, this clan had a large population. It was glorious and prosperous. They did not stop at Sky Bamboo City. Instead, they passed through Sky Bamboo City and arrived at the ancestral land. Su Yan's body and mind were at ease. Not only was the essence of heaven and earth here pure, but the energy substances were also full of active essence. It could prolong the aging of the human body. Staying here for a long time could cleanse the body and improve one's aptitude. As expected of the Sky Bamboo clan's ancestral land, Su Yan was moved. They stood in the ancestral land and looked at the world in the distance. Between the majestic mountains and rivers, there were suns, moons, and stars circling. There were also seas of stars flowing between the mountains and rivers. Heaven and earth blended together, giving birth to chaos. The immortal sound of the great Tao echoed endlessly. The entire ancestral land was filled with the atmosphere of the beginning of heaven and earth. In each of the grotto heavens, it was suspected that the immortal Tao was being nurtured. Immortal mist filled the air, mysterious and unpredictable. Su Yan even felt an ancient aura flowing in the ancestral land. It penetrated the past, present, and future. Vaguely, Su Yan sensed a terrifying prehistoric wave. It was shocking and majestic. It wanted to suppress the entire ancestral land. Su Yan was shocked. Was this the power of the Sky Bamboo clan's ancestor? Even if it had fallen, it still left behind an unparalleled aura. The giant bamboo said that it could open up a restricted treasure land. But after 1,000,000 years, the Sky Bamboo clan has changed greatly. I wonder if it can still do it? Su Yan was especially expectant. To the giant bamboo, the Sky Bamboo clan was no longer the Sky Bamboo clan of the past. The ancestor would not blame them for taking something away. Brothers, I'm begging for some monthly votes. Chapter 14:18. The vast territory was filled with pure and flawless essence, containing an astonishing amount of vitality. Between the mountains and great earth, plants were densely packed. These weren't ordinary plants, and they had long developed intelligence. They released auspicious multicolored light, and their vitality was exuberant. Rare medicinal ingredients could be seen everywhere, growing everywhere. This is the cultivation area of our clan. A true immortal stepped forward and said, "We have opened up many grotto heavens and blessed lands, all of which are incredible cultivation mansions. You can choose the uninhabited cultivation mansions. Of course, if you perform well in the future, you can go to the deeper parts of the mansions to cultivate." The true immortal waved his sleeve and led all the cultivators into the deeper parts of the mansions. When they arrived, the scenery was completely different. The essence of heaven and earth was several times denser. The moonlight and starlight all over the ground merged with the immortal substance of heaven and earth, forming a rare energy source that could nourish a powerful battle physique. What a terrifying mansions! Feng De's eyes were red. He saw a grotto heaven spewing out crimson light as if thousands of divine flames were burning. This was a rare divine fire cave. Looking into the depths, one could even vaguely see the immortal Tao fire burning. Su Yan was moved. These mansions were incredible. They were like natural furnaces, a rare land of fortune with fire element. Of course, this was only one of them. Many mansions were very special and had different forms. Su Yan saw a mansions in the middle. Majestic ripples of immortal Tao flowed out from one of the mansions. Innate runes were born inside, chanting scriptures and sprinkling immortal Tao runes as if they were going to outline a path to immortality. This is? Su Yan was shocked. He focused on the mansions as if they were nurturing a true immortal. The immortal Tao aura inside was extremely dense, and a large amount of immortal Tao essence was stored inside. Su Yan even saw a field of ancient herbs at the entrance of the mansions. There was even a stalk of immortal Tao medicine that was dazzling and full of vitality. Su Yan gasped in amazement. It was not simple at all. There were even a total of 5 of such caves. This is the most precious mansions of our clan. There are 108 of them, all of them are top cultivation mansions. Zhu Yuanli said with a smile, in the entire immortal heavenly domain, this is a priceless treasure. Do you see this mansions with true immortal Tao Qi? These are true immortal caves. True immortal caves. Feng De was shocked. There were 5 true immortal caves. Stepping into the true immortal realm from the pinnacle of the sempiternal realm was an extremely difficult realm to cross. In a world ruled by the immortal sex, they had set the rules of immortal matter. The continents were very strict in their control of immortal energy. Was it possible for a rogue cultivator without any power to occupy a heavenly paradise? Of course not, unless you are strong enough. The rules of survival in the immortal heavenly domain were much crueler than the Xianhuang universe. The main reason was that there was only one immortal heavenly domain in the vast universe. There were too many wolves and too little meat. Without the support of a strong foundation, it was extremely difficult to cultivate to the immortal realm. However, this was not a problem for the disciples of immortal sections. At this moment, Su Yan realized that an immortal treasure was nothing. Immortal, immortal, immortal. Immortal. The Sky Bamboo clan had 5 true immortal caves. It was shocking. Many young experts who had just joined the clan were envious. They wanted to cultivate in these 108 top mansions. They had to be strong enough, or they had to contribute to the clan. What a great immortal Tao orthodoxy! It will be strange if they don't become powerful. Su Yan muttered in his heart. Even he wanted to enter and cultivate, let alone the others. This meant that all the forces in the immortal heavenly domain were providing new blood for the immortal Tao orthodoxy. Some elders of the clan were smiling. Who wouldn't be shocked by this? This was the foundation of their clan. It had been passed down since ancient times. It was also the cradle for them to nurture strong experts. Boom! All of a sudden, there was a loud explosion. Everyone looked at the deepest part of the immortal cave. A vast aura rushed out. It was as if the sea of stars was collapsing, and also as if a dragon was breathing. Kacha! Huge black cracks appeared in the spacetime. Each crack penetrated very far, as if it was born into another spacetime. The cracked area spat out a shocking amount of energy. This vast secret realm became blurry, and the sky started to darken. What a powerful formation! Su Yan was shocked. This was the sign of the formation at the pinnacle. It spat out a terrifying amount of immortal matter. When it gathered at the source, Su Yan saw the 9 heavens appear. At the top of the 9 heavens, a golden immortal cave was faintly discernible. It emitted an immeasurable amount of immortal aura. The whole world seemed to be under its feet. What's that? The crowd exclaimed. The golden immortal cave became more and more blazing. Billions of runes flowed, and a supreme aura appeared, suppressing all life in the universe. Su Yan's face turned serious. The energy stolen by the pinnacle formation was cleansed one after another. There were 9 layers of cleansing, and finally, it penetrated into the golden immortal cave. The 9 layers of refinement pulled out all impurities and refined the purest energy. It was as if it had turned into a special furnace fire, causing the golden immortal cave to surge with blazing light. It became more and more astonishing. Merely an incense stick of time passed, and the golden immortal cave disappeared, as if it had never appeared. Su Yan could vaguely see a figure standing at the entrance of the golden immortal cave. It was like a high and mighty deity looking down on Xia Kunlun and the others, like an emperor inspecting his subjects. Sooner or later, I'll go too. Zhu Yao clenched her fist. Her ambition was great. The true immortals present didn't explain to Feng De and the others because they knew that no matter how high their achievements were, they couldn't enter the golden immortal cave. In the golden immortal cave there was a group of terrifying leaders in seclusion. They might have a chance to step into the realm of golden immortals. Zhu Yanghua still didn't have the qualifications to enter the golden immortal cave, but he could enjoy the supreme baptism of fortune in the outer region. As time passed, his strength became more and more unfathomable. Golden Immortal Cave. Su Yan guessed. This was definitely the Golden Immortal Cave, a supreme place of fortune created by the Sky Bamboo lineage. At this moment, a group of stewards rushed over and arranged a secret cultivation residence for Su Yan and the others. Su Yan had a secret residence to cultivate alone. He even had a group of maids and servants at his disposal. The secret cultivation residence was majestic and the courtyard was very big. Yen sat cross-legged in the cultivation room. There was a unique array that gathered the energy of heaven and earth, and the immortal matter was extremely rich. It could be considered as a temporary settlement. Su Yan absorbed the immortal energy in the room to strengthen himself. However, Su Yan's life essence was too strong. The energy needed for a breakthrough was extremely vast, and he couldn't rush it. Su Yan woke up the giant bamboo in the middle of the night. "You're finally here." The giant bamboo woke up and sighed. It had been 1,000,000 years. It didn't expect to return to the family in such a form. It was silent for a moment and said, "How do you feel?" "My horizons have been broadened," Su Yan replied. "It's just a method." The giant bamboo said, "The place you're in is a cultivation area. The resources consumed in this cultivation area alone account for more than half of the clan's resources." "So much?" Su Yan was shocked. He thought that he had only seen the tip of the iceberg of the Sky Bamboo lineage. However, the result was different from what he had imagined. "If I don't subdue you, how can I make you work so hard?" The giant bamboo smiled. "Actually, the Golden Immortal Cave is the one that consumes the most resources. It's about 30%. Su Yan was speechless. The true Immortal Cave's losses every year were ridiculous. It seemed that a supreme place of fortune that relied on manpower and resources was not something an ordinary immortal sect could afford. "Senior Giant Bamboo, what should we do next?" Su Yan asked. "There's no hurry. Although the family has changed and things have remained the same, some rules should be passed down from ancient times." The giant bamboo said in a deep voice, "I'll let you enter the clan with the identity of an extremely strong physical body. There's probably a chance of you entering the dragon transformation pool." "Let's wait." Su Yan calmed down. The dragon transformation pool was one of the places of fortune for the Sky Bamboo lineage to strengthen the physical body. As long as he could enter the dragon transformation pool, he could also come into contact with the core of the Sky Bamboo lineage. There were some fortunes that the giant bamboo could take away. Time flew, and 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Su Yan suppressed his realm and did not break through. In these 3 months he had absorbed too much energy. With the help of the secret palace, he could step into the 8th heaven at any time. However, the giant bamboo told him to slow down and not rush to break through. On this day, A maid outside the door reported that Su Yan was to go to the outer sect elder compound. Could it be that they're coming? Su Yan rushed to the destination. There was already a group of young experts gathered there. Each of them was an outstanding talent with a strong physical body. The essence blood that leaked out was extremely vigorous, like a furnace of life burning. Su Yan, who was flying in from outside the door, caused the gazes of the 5 strong practitioners to sweep over. Immediately, an earth-shattering heavy pressure swept over. Su Yan furrowed his brows slightly as he resisted the pressure of their auras. He looked at them with a cold expression. Is this a wild cultivator? The 5 experts were surprised. This wild cultivator's physical body foundation was extremely strong. Xia Kunlun, you're taking your time. You're putting on airs. Come and greet your senior brothers. Feng De looked at Su Yan coldly. You didn't invite me. What does it have to do with you whether I'm putting on airs or not? Su Yan calmly replied. You. Feng De's face suddenly sank. He shouted, Xia Kunlun, don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you got a spot in the dragon transformation pool. You're not strong enough to deal with us. You'll know whether I'm strong enough or not after you try. Su Yan stood with his hands behind his back. His long black hair draped over his shoulders. His deep eyes stared at them coldly. Su Yan was also surprised. He did not expect that he would get a spot in the dragon transformation pool in just 3 months. These words angered the 4 experts. Their auras were about to merge, forming a vast tide of blood energy that destroyed the void. It was extremely powerful. Humph! Su Yan coldly snorted. Terrifying blood essence seeped out of his body, causing the void to tremble. How dare he? Feng De's expression changed. This was too arrogant. Did he dare to fight with the 5 of them? You wild brat, how dare you behave so atrociously in the Elder Hall? Kneel down and accept your punishment. Outside the door, a suffocating destructive force came crushing over. Even space was being squeezed until it was distorted. The person who rushed over was a tall and sturdy man. He was over 3 meters tall and had bulging muscles all over his body. He looked somewhat ferocious. He raised his fist and smashed it toward Su Yan's face. Look, it's Dong Qua. This brute can't take it anymore. With his battle prowess, he can easily deal with Xia Kunlun. Everyone in the hall laughed. One had to know that there were only 6 spots in the dragon transformation pool. However, due to the arrival of Su Yan's group, 2 spots were squeezed out. One was Xia Kunlun and the other was Feng De. Originally, Feng De would not have been able to get a spot, but his brother was Feng Rong, and Zhu Gaoga had spoken up for him. In the end, he replaced Dong Qua.